Let's go! Yo! This is a message to all believers. We're not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Yo! Listen. Living in a time where evil's staring in your face. Yeah. Problem situations, tragedies are commonplace. Persecution running rampant, it makes you wanna lose your faith, yeah. But please don't be discouraged, just remember he's the way, yeah. Let your light shine,
so that men may see the lifeline that lives in me.
Gave us some soul, the world would see. It's in Him we should believe. Everybody shout!
Screaming from the mountain, even in the valley low. Oh,
I'm not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed. Can't keep it a secret. Gotta let the whole world know.
Listen. I get so excited at the mention of His name. There's no way that I can hide it. It's written all over my face. So tell me who else would love me after all the wrong I've done. So don't expect me to keep quiet. I'm about to lose control. Yeah. So let your light shine.
So that men may see
The lifeline
that lives in me.
Give it some soul. The world
would see.
It's in Him. Hey,
We should believe.
everybody shout.
Screaming from the mountain, even in the valley low.
I'm not ashamed.
I'm not
So I
ashamed.
can't keep it a secret.
Gotta let the whole
world knows. Everybody shout it with me.
Screaming from the mountain, even in the valley low. I'm not ashamed. Can't keep it a secret. Gotta let the whole world
Said I gotta tell it.
tell it.
Say tell it. Said He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Say tell it. Say tell it. Prince of Peace, ruler of everything. Said no more weeping, no more crying. Said He gave me the victory. I'll tell the world. This joy I have, the world didn't give it. This joy I have, so the world can't take it away. Say tell it, say tell it. If the Lord's been good to you, you gotta lift your hands, you gotta lift your voice. Tell the world how He brought you through. Say that I'm not ashamed. Jump up and get down. Jump up and get down. Yeah. Tell somebody, tell everybody, we're not ashamed. We out.
Zeke did that beat. Zeke did that beat.
I'm so fly, 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 I'm so fly.
Hey, yeah. Write my vision in the sky. Life looks different in your eyes. You, woo, you're high and lifted up. Hey, what's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. You are locked in with Zeke live in the morning. It's a good day. Oh my God. It's a great way to start your day. It is, what's today? Not Monday, Tuesday, March the 18th. It is 7:36 a.m. You have gotten up and you locked in with Zeke Live. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that you would choose to come on here with me. Let's give some quick shout outs. What's up, y'all? Hope everything's all right. Yo, it's our girl, Rhonda on the Rocks. Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. If you have not tuned in and ever watched her, and if you're not following her, then you are definitely missing out. And yes, you are right. I do need a cool name for my fans. So real talk, I was typing it in. I was just thinking that. I was typing in good morning to the Zeke Live family. And I realized that, I don't have a cool name. Like Beyonce has the Beehive, if you take Lady Gaga, she has the little aliens, or the little monsters. I'm sorry, not the little aliens, the little monsters. What's the name of the group? Outkast. They were always talking about AT aliens. I need a cool name. If you got a cool name for us, anybody, you go ahead out there and let us know. We'll employ it going forward. Yeah. I hope y'all are having a good day. I hope everybody is. I guess the day has just started, but some people wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So, I don't want you to wake up this day and think that it's a bad day. If you start off the day thinking it's a bad day, then you are bound to have a bad day. If you wake up in the morning and think it's a good day, you're bound to have a good day. That's why we say lock in with Zeke Live in the morning with Mr. Eric Rideout and with Be Rich 44. I'm telling you right now, we are, I promise you, a great way to start your day. I'm saying it's a great way to start my day. Even though it'd be early in the morning and I could be sleeping in and, I think about all those things. But then I get into it and we start looking at some funny videos and talking stories and sharing stuff. And then Rich usually prays for us at the end of the thing. And by the time the day is done, by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, I'm good. I'm good for the day. So I'm telling you, share it with your friends. If you're not subscribed to the Zeke Lock YouTube page, it's just Zeke Lock. It's a better experience over there listening. I'm telling you why. Because it is it's a stereo experience. So for all my audio files, you can hear tracks and stuff, a little bit better versus the mono situation Facebook Live gives us in the, So that's just a little technical thing. Plus, we're trying to build our YouTube side. I ain't even gonna hold you. We're trying to build up that YouTube side. I ain't got nothing, on the YouTube side. I need a whole lot more people on YouTube. Yeah. I promise y'all. Hey, let me give you an idea I've been thinking about, y'all. I've been thinking about doing a live show, like an actual live show. Now I know we're live here in these internet spaces on Al Gore's interwebs. I know that. And I love doing that. But I'm thinking about doing something one evening, like a Zeke Live at night, and actually doing it in person. But I'm telling you right now, if I do that, I'm only doing it for whatever cool name we come up with for all the people. That's all I'm thinking about. Rhonda said it ain't cool enough. I know that name I had ain't cool enough. So, send me some options. Yeah. If anybody could think of some, it's Rhonda on the Rocks. I'm telling y'all right now. Y'all, that's a sister to the show right there, y'all. That's been my little sister, but I'm introducing her to y'all. So please, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out there. Please go ahead and subscribe to Rhonda on the Rocks. If you watch Zeke live, y'all also watch Rhonda on the Rocks. The podcast, I'm telling you, it will bless your life. It is good. And she podcasts, so you can go and watch it anytime. Like, just, get her numbers up. And not just get her numbers up, but get your day up. Get your thought process up, because she dope like that. Y'all know who we got to bring to the stage now. Let's see. Is he here? Yeah, he's here. We got the one and only Mr. Eric Rideout. He'll be joining us in a moment here. And then today, check this out. We also have a special guest today, y'all. A special guest. Yeah, our special guest is the Pastor Jeremy Sanders. So unless something has changed in that, he'll be with us on today. Let me do something real quick. Get some coffee. I just brushed my teeth and now I'm about to drink coffee. You know when you brush your teeth and you get that, the mouthwash and the toothpaste just got your mouth feeling dry? Yeah, that's a nonsense, But clean mouths save lives. So there we go. All right, let's get Eric on the stage here. Eric, are you here? Are you here yet? I know you're here, but, we'll be having to get our coffee in the morning that they get started. But let me go back to this idea while I'm getting him loaded up. I want to do something, I think, live. Like, tell me the truth, y'all. Like, tell me the truth. Would y'all be down with that? Would y'all be down with a live in-person situation? Because that would be, so all of our fans that's here, I think a lot of us are here every morning, the ones that come on here. Like, like shout out to Brony Cat. She just got on with us. That's my girl. Like, y'all, we just got on. And I think y'all know each other now through the live cast, but it would be cool if we come together like a family for real. And just, my goal with this is more than just, Rhonda said, duh. Of course we'll be on there. Duh. Of course we'll come. All right, bet. We're going to start planning that. We're going to plan something. We'll go into the summer right. How about that? Yeah. We'll get a day planned out. I do have some other live stuff that's coming up. Let me see if I can get this announcement loaded up while I'm waiting on E. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go here with it. If I can remember how to get to it. I do have something live coming up next weekend. And we'll talk a lot more about this particular thing that's coming up as the week comes up. We'll talk a little bit more about it as the week comes up. All right, Eric said he's here. There we go. So we'll talk about this a little bit more as the weeks come up. But my mother is coming to town, so I'm trying to do like 3 things at once. My mother is coming to town next week. I told y'all my mom is a licensed clinical counselor, so she does counseling, all that stuff like that. My mother I told you, she's been diagnosing me my whole life. I guess counselors don't diagnose, but she's been reading me my whole life. And so my mother, we're gonna have her here. She'll be here. She's preaching at my church on Sunday. I go to APC Morgan Park, so if you're in the Chicago area, please feel free to drop in on us. We start at 12:30. She'll be preaching on that Sunday, so that's March the 30th, the last Sunday of March. And then on that Saturday, we're doing a workshop. So we'll have her on, like I said, next week. We're dedicating the whole show next week to mental health, trauma awareness, how to deal with violence, the work that I do on a daily basis with Live Free and the Community Healing Resource Center. So we're dedicating next week's show to all of that, and that will culminate in the weekend actually being in person. Now listen here, it's a very limited thing. I'm trying to get it loaded up on the screen, but apparently I don't know what I'm doing. Let's try this. Oh, you know what? Let me see if this is a show, because we were having some issues with the image files showing up, but we'll see if this actually ends up showing. Let's see here. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. We'll make the announcement tomorrow. I'll put the flyer up tomorrow. Just know it's going on. All right. Let's get my man Eric up on the stage. Can we get Eric up on the stage? Let's get him here. Y'all give it up for the one and only Eric Rideout. Uh-oh. There we go. I had the wrong thing going on. There it is.
No, you good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I got my headphones on today. Okay. So yesterday we had that crazy echo situation going on.
Well, you know what it was? It was me. I did that myself yesterday.
Well, you know what? I think I had something to do with it too, because I always listen through my speakers. But on here, on StreamYard, they have this thing called, echo cancellation or whatever. But yesterday I tried something different. In order to have the echo cancellation on, you have to basically turn off stereo mode. So yesterday I turned on stereo mode so it would sound better, like coming through YouTube and all that. And you have to turn off echo cancellation for that. So I think I had something to do with that as well. I recognized it when I was by myself. There was no echo, but even Rich had an echo on his as well. So, yep. So that was. I'm gonna take that one. I'm gonna take the blame on that one. Hey, check this out. Brony Cat is always giving us like if we had a church, she would be our announcements lady. You know how they used to have the announcements ladies that come up. They'd be like, "You are tuned in with the old Landmark Church." Remember old Landmark? So shout out to Brody Cash. She said good morning. Welcome to Zeke Live in the Morning with Zeke, Locke, Eric Rideout, and Richard B. Rich Holmes. Yeah. Eric, did I lose you? I just got another thing of you. Let's see here. Let's see what happens.
You know what? I
there it
cannot
goes.
hear you anymore.
You can't hear me? Let's see. Let's try this. How about now? Can you hear me?
That's weird. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Really?
I better log out, log back in.
All right, cool.
All right, let me try that.
All right, bet. I hear Eric. Eric's gonna log out, log back in. I don't know if he heard me, but he's coming back. Yeah. Old Landmark. If you from Chicago, you know about Old Landmark. Yo, I gotta say real quick to my cousin Sherry over in Colorado. Cousin, where you at? You in Denver, right? Yeah, my cousin Sherry in Denver. Man, you must be up early. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, cousin? I love you. I hope all is well. Give all my family out in Colorado some love. I need to come to Colorado. I think I'm coming to Colorado this year, actually, but I think I'll be in Colorado Springs. But I don't know what the time difference is from there, or the time it takes to get from there to Denver. So I have to make a whole thing of it. Maybe I'll bring my wife out there and we make a whole thing out of it. Y'all hear me? And also, check this out. Y'all hear me? I keep throwing around this word, my wife. I'm telling y'all. She said she's the early bird. All right, cuzzo. Hey, check this out. I know I always be saying my wife. I know, but y'all know what? I worked a long time to get to this moment. So, if you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Yeah, you're going to hear me say my wife quite often. I'm going to reference my wife. Brony Cat said, don't do her. You can be the church announcement lady. You are now, how do old announcements used to go? You are tuned in to the hour of power with the Old Landmark Church. Why I keep harking on Old Landmark though? Like, if you're from Chicago, you get the reference about Old Landmark. There's a clip going around. Speaking of my wife, all right, y'all. This early morning Zeke. Speaking of my wife, there's a clip that's going around. I'm just gonna say, speaking of my wife. Now, when I say the rest of what I say, you just have to make your own judgment. Speaking of my wife, there's a clip that's going around from, I believe it's from Old Landmark, from back in the day. There's a lady and she's up there. I wish I had this loaded up. There's a lady and she's up there on the thing and she's preaching, I guess, and she's saying the man is not supposed to go down on the woman, and the woman is not supposed to go down on the man. Bruh. I just said, I'm just gonna leave that story alone. I'm just gonna leave that alone. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just leave that alone right there. We be just saying stuff at church, don't we all? We just be in our own little churchy world where we just got our own belief systems and stuff. And so, I don't know what your thoughts are on those things. Rhonda said, she said they stood in that pulpit and lied. Listen, what do y'all think about stuff like that? I mean, I'm genuinely curious to know what y'all think about stuff like that, because I think sometimes in church we be overstepping boundaries. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a newlywed. That's all. I'm just a newlywed. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe you just ain't never had none. Too early in the morning, I got sponsors now. Speaking of sponsors, I've got to shout out our weekly sponsor. I don't have the graphic loaded up. What am I doing with my life, y'all? I don't have my other thing loaded up here. Oh, Eric said he's back. All right, let's get him back on here. E, you back with us?
Yeah, man, it's the location where I am. But what was the question about Old Landmark? I used to watch them and laugh every Saturday night.
Yo to John Johnson, he's always with us. The question about Old Landmark, I said, how many of y'all used to? First, I'm gonna say how many people remember Old Landmark. So if you're not from Chicago, you won't really probably know Old Landmark, or maybe you do. But you remember Old Landmark used to be on TV, right? And so, remember that there was a clip that's going around right now. It's gone kind of viral where I think it's from back in the day, and I believe it's at Old Landmark where a lady is she ain't basically, this is what she's saying. She's standing in the pulpit going, the man is not supposed to go down on the woman.
That's the first
and
lady.
the woman, that's the first lady of Old Landmark.
That was his dry wife.
Oh!
So, this is the thing, man. That was, to me, a lot of that stuff was just how they felt.
I said either somebody I don't even know where they got that from, but I guess either somebody just probably ain't never had it, or just had it and it wasn't that good. So they said, this must not be right. This ain't what God wants.
Her wig wasn't blown back.
I'm not gonna sit here and talk about pastors.
Well, she's in glory, both of them, so they wouldn't know.
Well,
God bless y'all membership.
God bless them. They stood there for years and years. Rhonda on the Rock, she told us the marriage bed is undefiled. Go down and up and down and go down again.
Wow.
She said, go down and go up and go down again. Listen, that's how I feel. I feel like, like I said, I don't know much. I'm not I don't know much. All I know is, I'm a newlywed man, and I enjoy my time with my wife. That's all I know. That's all I know. So
the best thing is, you don't have to repent when you're done.
Exactly. In fact, listen, I be with my wife. I say, "Thank you, Lord." That's what I do. You ever prayed saying, "Thank you, Lord"? Why you?
So, since you are that guy now, how is married life?
Married life is good. It's been good. Me and Sticks, we've been together off and on and off and never really off, but figuring it out. And, we thought about marriage before. We talked about marriage before and just wasn't ready, I guess, and just didn't happen. And we have a history. It's not like we don't have a history, but when we made the decision, like when we made a real decision. We sat down, we had a conversation. This is where my life is going. Where is your life going? What we do? And it was just kind of like that. Hey, what are we doing? Are we, we got past just the infatuation of each other, just being in love. And we got to a point where it was like, okay, this is practical life. I'm making a decision that's for my life, and you're the biggest decision I can make in that. And it's the same for you, and vice versa. You have to make a decision that's practical for your life. It don't matter how much you love me, how much I love you. Do we work well together to build the life that we say we want? And so we started talking about that. I had to have her on one day. We just kind of talk about them conversations that we had, because that ultimately led to, all right, bet, let's do it. And once we made that decision, boom, we went with it. And we said we didn't want no long engagement or nothing. And by January 1st, we was married. So,
that's how you're supposed to do it. I feel like this, man. What's to wait for?
Yeah. It was no point wait. We made the decision. We had already been around each other. We already knew. So we knew it's what we wanted. So the only thing we would have been waiting for is to plan some big overpriced party in order to impress a bunch of people who ain't going to be in our marriage in the first place. So we decided that we was going to do something super private,
And what's wrong with that?
We even thought about doing what you did when you were married. We thought about doing that, going to Vegas and just we just, whatever it was, we didn't want to have a bunch of stress from planning. We didn't want to put a bunch of money into it like that. We couldn't get a return on. You know, we building a life.
Because you do, the wedding is more, if the wife is not that type of person, the wedding is more for the spectators, the family, the friends. It's really for them because you don't care. I know when I was married, I didn't care nothing about no wedding situation. I'm like, whatever, we can just do it and be done with it.
Yeah. And yours was so smooth, like, you know, I hate to heart kiss, so tell me if I need to shut up here. But no, because I was in your wedding, you know, and it was cool because we was in Vegas, so the night before we got a chance to hang out and we just had fun, like, you know. Like, and it was no planning to it because, you know, if you ever go to Vegas, you just hanging out in Las Vegas. And so we got a chance to do that. And then when it was the marriage day, you was at the chapel. So they had a time frame for us to go in there. We got in there.
Except all the bridesmaids.
Oh, my God. Am I allowed to tell that story? You want to tell that story?
Oh, no. I said the maid of honor was there, but all our bridesmaids was late. And the wedding started without them. So we had a whole line of groomsmen. And it was lame. It was whack.
It was crazy because you had sent everybody texts like probably 7 or 8 times between the day before and the wedding day. Like you mentioned it at the rehearsal dinner.
They were there.
You said it at the.
You know, when you get to those chapels, they don't let you in. So all the brides literally pulled up a minute after the wedding started. Mm-hmm. When the wedding started, they ran up in the building. They was like, "No, you can't go in." They're like, "We in it." I'm like, no. Oh, Leslie Brown, you have for Zeke. That is what's up. Because I'm no longer married, but I will be married.
That's Leslie. That's Leslie used to babysit me back in the day. So you know, Pastor Tony. That's Pastor Tony's sister-in-law. That's Bebe's older sister. Pastor Tony's wife's older sister.
Yeah, I'm gonna one day. I'm gonna marry again. But man, congrats to you. And all these other guys is getting married. I saw, you know, Lehman got married maybe a year and a half, it was a little bit ago. I saw somebody else I know got married yesterday. So
people are just popping up married.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's what I'm
people are popping up, and I'm telling you, like, and you know, and like I see Rhonda here, like she says she wants a wedding, you know, like that was. You know, that's to me, that's your prerogative. Like, go for it. Yeah. Like I tell people, if you want a wedding, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, go for the wedding. Like, here's Jamaica. Good morning to Jamaica. Jamaica Lachey. That's our sister. That's our girl. That's an amazing artist. Y'all know her.
Who? I didn't hear nothing you just said.
I said Jamaica Lachey.
Never.
You know, I knew you was coming with that. I knew that. No, Jamaica had a beautiful wedding over at the Chicago Cultural Center, right? Like the down on the South Shore Cultural Center. I'm sorry. She had a wedding at the South, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. We sang. I did an arrangement of the Lord's Prayer that I'm still trying to find the footage of it. I think I found the rehearsal footage of it though, so I gotta release that. You know, it was a really dope thing. You know, so yeah, I'm not against weddings. I'm not anti-wedding. It's just that I knew I didn't want that stress on my wife. She didn't want that stress. And here's the crazy thing. We were going to do it in private, right? We were going to do like a private ceremony and all that kind of stuff. Like really nobody there said close friends, close family. And then that list just started growing and growing about who constitutes a close family member. And before you know it, we had basically what was a big wedding. And it was just like, we don't want to do that. So, you know, we didn't even want to start planning for trying to go somewhere and do it. We said, man, let's just go to dinner. It turned into that. It turned into let's just go to dinner. There were a couple of steps that led to that.
It came out to what you and her wanted, which was all that mattered. It don't matter what everybody else wanted. Like, oh, I wanted you all the way. Well, you gonna pay for this or whatever.
And,
you know, something on a different topic that I saw today. Because where I am, because I'm gonna be on here, you will hear me on and off. I'm gonna still see the picture. I may not be talking, but I saw another video this morning, and we can't have nothing. See?
Oh Lord, what happened?
No, it's still people. We got these people out the blue, still doing the Kendrick Lamar videos, and they, ruining it for the world. It's the most uncoordinated thing I've seen. I'm so tired of that.
I'm telling you, I wish I would have loaded up a clip since you bring that up. It does look horrible. Like, folks, if you can't walk back and forth with a simple If you can't do like this, just enjoy life. I guess they enjoying life, you know, because they could have been they could have been saying something else, or they could have been saying that Negro Lamar. We don't want.
Man, people was mad over that, but that's the thing that kills me. People were so mad. Oh, his thing was so racist. It was so. Y'all wanted us out of here, separation. Now you mad we leaving. It's like you want us around, but at the same time you mad if we leave. Like what the heck?
Well, I say they was mad because they didn't see no. Let's just call it. They didn't see no white faces. I saw a post that was like, "You mean to tell me out of all the people in the world, all you could find was black folks?" I'm like, well, you know, at the end of the day, the most qualified for the job is because y'all can't even get that right. We're gonna have an uncoordinated Super Bowl show. Get out of here, like,
dude. And that's the thing. Yeah, they were mad. Like you all can find like one white dancer. Oh well, nobody. Y'all didn't say that when they doing the frog. What's that weird dance they do when the people be jumping, and they be it's like they tap dancing at the same time. What is that called? It's something that they.
Oh, like the river dancing. You talking about river dancing?
Yeah, how many of us you see river dancing with them?
No, that's an Irish thing, right? You got to be pretty much.
They went out their way. Now, one time to say, go get LaQuisha over there to river dance with us.
Yeah, you want somebody from Ireland to do a river dance, like because it's a cultural dance, like it's a cultural thing.
Clearly said they not like us, so leave it at that. I just never got that. It's like when the DEI thing came out, it was like, all right, Taylor Swift wasn't up there, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing, man. The weekend, it's like not all white people, of course, but those that are river dancer, but those that feel that strongly about DEI, we got to get rid of it. Then you get rid of it. The minute you get rid of it, say, okay, we're gonna do our own thing. Wait a minute, you're going too far. You're doing your own thing. Why are we not up there? The same reason the Country Music Award people are mad over Beyonce winning. Dude will come public.
Oh, so okay, here, since you brought that up, I'm gonna bring that up later with our guest because I know he's from Houston, and I actually have that as our one of our what you think topics, and so I'm interested to know what people think about that. Chris Stapleton is upset that Beyonce won. You know,
right?
Upset that Beyonce won.
But they take all our music and redo it, and it's worthy of awards. Get up out of here. I would go do a whole, you know. And this John said, black women are too thick to river.
You imagine Beyonce trying to river dance like that?
It'll be the most crowded. It'll be one of the most crowded river dance shows you've seen of black people in the world.
So wasn't Jay-Z in charge of Super Bowl? Yeah. He was. I don't know if he's like solely in charge or if he's like head of a team that's in charge or he has the final say.
He had the final say. He was calling the shot. So, you know, whatever, man. Anybody think about them? And the other part too, what you just said though, that's a good topic, man. And shout out to my girl, Shauna. Well, I don't want to say her real name is messed up. Tootie from Chicago. Her daughter won Grammys from that album. She wrote 3 or 4 songs on Beyonce. And the songs that she wrote won Grammys. And the girl, I think she's 20 now, 19 or 20, and a Grammy Award-winning writer for Beyonce.
Yeah.
From Chicago.
Congrats. Chicago in the house.
We're going to have her on the show.
Everybody needs some Chicago. Let's have her on there.
Yeah, she's young too.
Have some Grammy winners on here. Yeah.
Man.
We need some Grammy winners on here.
Hey, and the funny thing is, man, again, this is not going to sound right when I say it. I already know it's not. Because when I say I'm not racist at all.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Here we go.
I'm not racist at all. I just want to get clarity for that whole situation when I just said about they not like us and having something of our own. For years, man, think about it. Our people have always, we get something, here it comes. Like, give us that. That's give us that. Oh, man, we come out to music. Like I saw somebody yesterday that said Elvis Presley was the king of soul. Are you lost your mind?
Elvis what?
Presley? Yeah. They said Elvis
the king
Presley
of soul
was the king of soul. I said Elvis Presley was the king of soul. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that clip and I'm gonna send it. Elvis Presley was the king of soul music.
You say whatever makes your boat float. That's ridiculous.
Dude.
Hey, check this out. I love what Leslie said here. We're talking about the marriage thing. He said, I did it the right way. And I say you did it the right way too, E. Like, it's whatever works for you, as Jamaica said, She said if she wants to get married, she does not plan on having an extravagant wedding. Private, intimate is the way to go. To each his own, but but low key is where it's all at. Okay, that's what she says. Yep. Thanks for tuning in with us, though, for a few minutes. I love it. Jamaica, I love what you said here. She said, yes, at the end of the day, make sure it's what you both want. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
It boils down to what do you,
Look at Jamaica giving married advice. All right, Jamaica, giving words of marriage wisdom on you. That's good though, man. But when I remarry, it's gonna be. I would say it's up to her.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good deal.
Because I can.
You don't care either way. Yeah.
I don't care either way.
I get that.
I don't care with me as strong as it is anyway. It's even stronger in that situation. Because certain things just don't matter to me. But yeah, I'll be spitting that knowledge.
Jamaica be spitting that knowledge. Yeah, well, that's Jamaica Lachey, the great artist Jamaica Lachey. The person. Shout out to Michael Allen. Wonderful person. I've met him down in Dallas. We were down that way. He's from the Quad Cities, I believe. Yeah. Say that person needs to be drug tested. Talk about Elvis being the king of soul. Whoever said that needs to be drug tested. He's the king of stealing music.
You know what, bro? Let me tell you what, I saw that. Wait, they said it while showing James Brown. They said this is James Brown with the king of soul was Elvis Presley, and he up there gyrating. Like he having a stroke on the stage. Said, man, that dude wasn't no king enough. But this is the thing for me. That
is this your king?
Pretty much. Understand? I laughed at, and then on this same show they were talking about how people retaliate in their own way. And they were talking about Eminem. When he made that shot at Michael Jackson about don't touch little boys like Michael Jackson. And this guy would say he was sitting with Mike and was like, hey man, what you gonna do? He said he was looking at Mike like, you about to get mad? He's like, I'll fix that. Mike went and bought all Eminem's publishing. He said, so now he can sing the song every time he sing and perform, I get paid. So have at it. Mike
that's how you win. Make your enemies your footstool. That's like like please continue to be my enemy because you're gonna keep making music about it and the people who hate me gonna buy it and I get paid either way.
Eminem was hot. He went and bought all his stuff. So
yeah, he bought. Michael owned the rights to a lot of stuff. Then he owned like the he owned like when he made that big purchase. I think that was where him and Paul McCartney fell out, right?
Oh yeah,
because he ended up owning the rights to the Beatles music.
What happened was,
or something like that.
McCartney about selling the Beatles things, and Paul said, "Oh, if somebody got the money to buy it, it'll probably be worth this amount." He said, "Thank you." He went right on over and bought it.
Yeah, and I thought it was something along the lines as well, though. Like Paul McCartney wanted it, and Michael ended up with it, and it was like Mike, that was.
Yeah, that's what that was saying. Paul McCartney said Michael Jackson asked him about it. Said, how much you think it cost to own y'all catalog? He told him he went and bought it. And he was telling him he wanted it, but he was like, "Hey, Michael, it's a business deal. You slap on it." And that
kind of sucks. I do kind of feel like, I mean, come on, I love Michael, and at the end of the day, business is business, and it's good to see a black man doing business.
He backdoored him on that one.
For real though, like for real. Because if I wrote all those songs that were classic and iconic songs from a classic iconic group, I would probably be a little pissed off at Michael Jackson. Like, bro, come on, I'm working up my game to get this. Like, why would you
hear how much they get though? Paul McCartney, I think you can Google search it. Somebody can Google search it. A Beatles song, they said, is played somewhere in the world. I think it's every 3 to 5 seconds. And Paul McCartney is getting almost $250,000.
Dang,
per play.
If only I can make it to that kind of iconic status, that would be, man. That is like just per play.
Yeah, Google searching somebody what Paul McCartney gets in royalties when they play a Beatles song. It's something crazy. Just like I watched something.
John said you gotta have no Diddy, and I think I know what he was talking about. He said when Michael backdoored Paul McCartney.
Yeah, no Diddy on that.
John said no.
Definitely. No,
my Lord.
I was watching, but man, money. Certain people make. How I say it. It's certain allowances for certain people to get money, like the TV show Friends. How they get $1 million per episode on the reruns, each one of them.
Yeah. That was a good deal. Yeah.
For life.
They got a good deal with that.
Dude, $1 million every rerun.
Friends ain't a bad show. Not a bad show. You know what? Not a black person in sight. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm with Chris Rock on this one. Like, how in the world are you in New York in the 90s and not a black person, not nary a black person in sight? Like,
no neighbors, no co-workers, nobody driving.
Nobody. Just every now and then a black person peppered in the crowd in a coffee shop or something.
Like a Trump rally. And then there's my black friend right there. Dude, that part's funny. You know what else I saw too yesterday? Man, I was watching the clip of that show I sent you. What is it? It's Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Dude, that show.
Classic.
I watched the scene where he had the basketball team. Did you see that? He picked all little black boys.
Yes.
Like, what he said, I can't pick you can't pick all of. He said, can't pick all of what? It's like they didn't want to say the black people. That show is off the radar. That if you've never watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, y'all, let me tell you something. If you've never seen that show is my goodness. No limits on what they said.
Jamaica said, I will and I can and I will reach iconic status. Thank you, Meek. See, this is why we need to do a live show, y'all, where we all together in the same space so we can all hug each other and have all kinds of...
You know what? Mics the audience and everything. We can put mics on the audience so they can just talk. We can have some food. Listen, we can have food. We can have a kickback. You know how I want to do it? I want to do it like a kickback style. Like, part of me wants to do it like in a space where we can control the audio and all that. But another part of me wants to do it like outside by the lake with a bonfire or something. You know what I mean? Like, and like have some I don't know, have somebody on a grill and, I don't know. I don't know. We'll toy it out. We'll play with it. We'll see what happens, because that could be a good time. But yeah, that's why I put it together.
Yeah, for real though. Like if I get a team of people to help put that together, I will actually do it. I'll do it. I gotta say what's up to all the people who watch on Instagram. We got people over on Instagram. Nico over in Norway. That's my little friend over there. What's up, homie? Iris T. London. What's up, lady? Let's see. It's a whole bunch of other people on there. Nazia. We got a bunch of people who got. Oh, look, it's Alina. What's up, girl? Let's see who else was there. Mr. Kankakee. I think I know who that is. Yeah.
Alina's
Reverend Tyree.
Alina's getting married too.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, oops. Alina, congrats. Yeah.
Hey, congrats to you. Y'all know we can't see the Instagram people. They like the secret club over there, so they be popping in and out over on Instagram, and I gotta track them on a whole different platform. So
they're like Drake's ghostwriters. They're just in the background.
Oh snap! Brony Cat said they changed the rules for hanging out on the lakefront. For reals? That's all right. Well, we can go to Wolf Lake. Y'all can come over to Indiana. We can go to Wolf Lake.
We're just doing it. We'll just be
on the Chicago side.
Or we just do it anyway. Hang out on it.
That's true.
That'd be good footage to show.
Everybody running scattered from the cops. Go! Oh man, that would be really dope though if we all got together and did something like that. Cause and I know that doesn't apply unless you want to fly here for people who are not in the Chicago area. But I wouldn't even be opposed to doing this. Go to one city and do it. Go to another city and do it. I wouldn't be opposed to doing it that way. Just having a kickback, a hangout, just a opportunity for people to network with each other, see each other in person, know who each other is. Because let me tell y'all something. Other people who are on this right now, like John is correct, right? And I was pulling him up. He's correct. Friends of Seinfeld also had no black people. This is true.
I've never.
Bronya is correct. Cheers never had black people. This is true. And you in Boston in the 80s that had no black people. All that, yeah, I get it. But of these people who are on here, this is why I want everybody to get together, because some of y'all are into music and stuff like that. You want to do live shows. You be looking for people to light. Well, this man right here, John Johnson, has a business, Freedom Lighting. They do a lot of shows. They do a lot of stuff like that. And, it's good to just know that. And then to know the person that's behind it makes it all the better. So that's dope. Jamaica Lachey, she's been our guest. She'll be our guest again. She is, a phenomenal artist. And as y'all saw, she wrote the theme song for Rhonda on the Rocks. I'm going to put Rhonda back up there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rhonda on the Rocks. Like, she's got a podcast. It's a dope podcast. She's one of the smartest people you'll ever meet. She knows the business and educational worlds, right? Like, we got people. Y'all saw Leslie in here. She works with youth and she advocates for them and keeps them together. I can go all day. I can even, and this is a good segue to even talk about our week's sponsor, True Hood Photography, right? Some of y'all need a photographer for different stuff. We got people. There's people that's around. Look at what a Brony cat. She works in the social fields. Like, we got people who do good work, good stuff in our community, and that's that. So,
and normally I could share, but where I am, I don't have my computer with me, so I can't do what I normally do and help run the numbers up today. But we need you guys to do it today. Put the hearts on there and share the live.
Yeah, thank y'all.
I'll be on there working. Well, 50 people in the first 20 minutes, but I can't do it today. But,
that's all good. Yo, here's the real talk. Brony Cat, she said if we got some house music on deck, she gonna be there. We'll have some house music. We can have a house party. That'd be fun. Oh, that would be fun.
A house party?
Like with house music, like Chicago, just house music.
That's a Chicago
actually,
thing too.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but even over at APC, we was talking about having a house party for real, like house music. Listen, y'all know me. I'm a little bit more on the liberal side of things, and Pastor Bill is real cool too. Like he loves house music too. So there's a lot of good house out there, and all of it ain't got to be dirty and gyrating. Like, so you can do this. We have fun. So in the theater side, let's put it that way, the APC theater with the big sound system and the speakers and all that. We've had school dances over there before. So we have plays in there. We have people rent it out for concerts and all kind of other stuff like that. Matter of fact,
it's not considered. It's more of a theater.
It's a theater now. It's been turned into a theater. Matter of fact, that's where Kev on Stage will be on April 5th.
Right.
He'll be over at my church, at my theater. Yeah. Kev on Stage will be at APC.
Kev, a conversation. That's my dog.
Look at that. Make it a block party. See, now the ideas are coming. This is why y'all are the Zeke Live family. See that? Rhonda said we got to come up with a new name, though, E. We got to come up with a cool name.
Did you see the text I sent you, Rich?
No, my phone is... I never know what my phone is. That's why I don't have a video that you had from yesterday, because we'll play that one tomorrow. I'll have it for real. I don't even want to tell the people what it is. Like, because I think I'm gonna load it up with a bunch of other stuff, like about like husbands and wives, how they be like playing with each other. You know what I mean? Like,
I watched it the other night. It was tears again. I can't stop watching it.
Speaking of videos, hey, let's check out some hot takes real quick. Some stuff that I saw. I told y'all as well. I never segued. I did. I talked about True Hood Photography. He's our sponsor. He's our sponsor for the week. So, and I don't have that graphic. I loaded up too many graphics in the show. That's what happened. So I can't load other stuff. So let me do this. Let's go into these quick hot takes real quick. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Do me a favor real quick, though. Make sure you subscribe if you're on the YouTube side. If you're not on the YouTube side, I would say check us out on the YouTube side. The YouTube side is lit, man. I'm telling you. I listened back to the playback on YouTube, and it is stereo on YouTube, so it sounds better over there. So it's a better experience. Also, you can turn it on your TV and all that kind of stuff like that. Oh, wow. Like, so, yeah, because it's YouTube, so if you got like a smart TV, most smart TVs have a YouTube app. So you can, you can watch the YouTube from over there.
Because I was thinking about that before you played the things. I was thinking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I got my other page called Gospel Music Exchange. I have like 20,000 followers. And I was on there yesterday looking at it, and they're from all over the world. And they just come in there to share their music and what they do. I said, I'm thinking I'm going to just change this whole page to Zeke Locke in the Morning and start us off with.
Real low key, I think you should keep it what it is, though.
You think so?
And then maybe we find a way to integrate it, though. Like, because I think it's good to have platforms. I think what you've done in that sense is amazing. Like, for people to have a platform where they can share music back and forth with each other and what they've done and all that. You've always kind of got that, So I think that'd be.
It's working, but I just thought about stealing it. It's mine.
It's yours. You do what you want to do, right? Yeah.
Because people come on there.
Switch it up if you want.
Yeah. And I can make a gradual change.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's why I say you should integrate it, because it will be a good way. Because one of the things I want to do with this show is help people showcase their stuff. Shout out to Mama over there on Instagram. She watches us on Instagram every day, y'all. I wish I could share the Instagram comments. That really sucks. They need to do something about that.
It's not a way to do it.
I looked it up. It's no way to do it. Like, you can't even just go straight live from Instagram. I have to use a stream key, then go back to Instagram and start a whole new live from there with the stream key. So there's like a there's like a whole, whereas everything else, Facebook and YouTube, they go, and also Twitch, but I'm not on Twitch.
Something else dope too?
And I
thought about the other day, and I'm gonna let you so you can play your thing. Something Kiara did before. I don't think you came down to her conference one year at the BRL conference. Her church had big screens in it, right? During the conference, she was like, "Go live." She had one screen was Twitter, one was Instagram comments, and one was something else. And people were in real time in the service posting their comments.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad on the screen. But it was so interactive. Because she would turn around randomly and look at the screen and say, such and such, where you at in the building, blah, blah, blah. But even if when we do our thing, have a screen in there and let people, we're still live, like you said.
Now no cap, that would be so. Now I'm thinking about using the theater for real, because with the big screen, we could actually do that. People leave comments and we can have them post up to the board. I've seen that done. I've seen that done in clubs, matter of fact, where like you can tweet that you're at the club and it'll pop. You hashtag it and it'll pop up on the, or like at a concert. I've seen that. Yeah. That's actually
we should do that, because I thought about that today. Because James Fortune Live, he'd be doing that, putting it up. And he's about to start touring that. Him and Ike go on the spots. I'm gonna tell him come to your church, and they go do it live, James Fortune live, and have people sing it. But I don't know if I'm able to hold it with him laughing. You know how he is. But
if y'all don't know about James Fortune, we always talking about him on here because that dude is got to be one of the funniest people I've ever met. Like James Fortune is. James Fortune on the mic with his group, is hallelujah, lift God up. But if you know James Fortune behind the scenes, he's that cousin. Yeah, he's that cousin who will get you in trouble at church because they keep you laughing and they looking at you like, y'all need to shut up talking to church. He's that dude. Like, he's hilarious. That's what we got that never heard of him from. Like, he'd be like, what's your name again? Good to meet you. What you say your name is? My name is Donald. Never heard of him. And he'll walk away. Like, stuff like that. He is hilarious.
So shook when he do it. They don't know what to say.
I told y'all, he did that one time with Jesse Jackson, boy. That job was... my Lord. That had to be one of the funniest moments ever.
Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show y'all the clip. We're going to save a clip. I have a clip of James, John Gray, Isaac Curry, and Lecrae together. And they saying that how James said him and Kobe was cool. And Isaac said, never heard of him. He said, Kobe like, James who? James, never heard of him. So I'm going to show y'all that, where they do it at. Well, man, what's your clips you got?
All right, let's do those real quick. Let's hit those up real quick while we await our special guest for today, because we have an awesome guest, and I want to dive into some conversation with him because I'm telling y'all right now, he is. Matter of fact, oh snap! I see he just popped in. As I'm looking for this clip.
Yeah, he called us to work, so we got to grab him.
Oh, let's grab him up. All right, bet. So let's do this. Since he's at work, we're gonna pull him in first. We'll do the clips later then. We can do that later. Let's get into the real stuff. Y'all, let's bring to the stage. Hold on one second. Let me make sure. I got the pieces in place. Y'all, we have somebody that is... Uh-oh, I lost Eric. What did I do? Y'all, this is why I need a producer. Somebody come produce my show, because... I be clicking stuff. Eric, you back. All right, there we go.
I was still there. I could hear you the whole while.
I know, but I cut you off the screen. I don't know what I did wrong. So I gotta add you on. So y'all listen here. We have a special guest that's in the house. If you listen to the intro, the early part of the show, the pre-show, we'll call it. If you listen to that, you heard the song that came on called, I believe it's called, is it Not Ashamed? I was going to say
Not
Tell
Ashamed.
It. That's the tagline is Tell It, but the song is called Not Ashamed. And I'm telling y'all, it's a jam. If you love like 90s, like early 90s, like what's the word I'm looking for? New Jack Swing. Yeah, that New Jack Swing sound. Like, I'm telling y'all, that mug goes for real, bro. That joint goes hard. It is the one and only Pastor Jeremy Sanders. We're about to bring him to. Hold on one second. Wait. We got to bring him on right. Hold on. I don't have his song loaded up, so we're gonna bring this one up because he is a fly guy. So we bringing him up. Y'all put some hearts in it right now. I need some hearts. And all the way from Houston, Texas, it's the one and only Pastor Jeremy, the rock star.
What up, bro?
What up, family?
Y'all good, man?
What's up, man?
Man, I'm good, bro.
Dude.
Y'all forgive me. I'm at work, so like I had to, do what I had to do to make it on the show and not lose. Hey, praise the Lord.
And whenever you gotta go, man, let us know.
Listen, when you gotta go, just let us know. Just say, yo, I gotta get up out of here. Peace out. But I wanted to be sure to get you on here because, man, listen, you are an awesome individual, dude. Like, you are just. I'm happy you came on the show. I'm just happy you came.
Be here, bro. I'm glad to be here, man. I love y'all.
Man.
When did we meet, Zeke? We met, 3 years ago now?
Yeah, 2022. Yeah, that's when we officially met in person. Because we had been following each other on Facebook and all that stuff, just mutually. And then we met in person in Houston. Like, yeah, and it was love.
Zeke has turned into a whole biblical character. No longer, he's not a role anymore. He's not even in hood book anymore. This is real life.
I want to be like Jesus. That's what I want to be like Jesus. I want
Literally.
Yo, so what's been up, man? What's been up?
And everything. So, like, officially last year, my wife and I, we were officially ordained as pastors.
I saw that. Hold on, let me put another screen up here. If I lose y'all, I'm bringing you right back. I promise. If I lose you, I'm bringing you right, the super right back. Hold on a second. Yep. See, I knew I was going to lose them. Here they go. Let's add them back to the stage. There we are. All right.
Cool. Yeah, man. Me and my wife, we were ordained as pastors last year. And we served my father's church, which was known as Faith Temple Worship Center. And then in August of last year, we actually did Oh, you did it, man. Look at you.
Listen, man, I was ready for you today, bro. I was ready for you, man. I told you I got a show loaded up for you.
He did research, y'all. And then we rebranded to I61 Church. Man, and what I love about what God is doing with it, bro, is he's giving us the grace to, it feels really, really organic. We're like starting all the way over. I've been in ministry since I was 16. I've been preaching since I was 16. I've served in so many different capacities as either a youth pastor, assistant pastor, worship leader, drummer. I've done all those things.
He kills on the drums too.
And he does kill on the drums. He be giving me good critiques when I be playing. I be like, I ain't trying to do all that. I'm trying to beat on some drums. That's all I'm trying. But this dude is you're a well skilled drummer.
Singer too.
Yeah. Well, the singing, obviously, yeah.
Man, they keep telling me I sound like this dude. I can't remember his name right now. Anyways,
James Fortune.
What? Who sound like a dude? Like
he sounds like Fred.
He sound like Fred on that Tell It, man. That just the cadence and the approach. I mean, it's fun. I got to get you on something, bro. We got to do something together. I'm gonna stop saying that and actually do it. Like,
we got to go to Houston. He got the church. He got the spot. We just got to.
I listen because
I'm waiting on y'all. I got everything. I got space and opportunity.
Perfect. All we gotta do is plan a trip. Then I tell you what, Eric will make it happen. So I know he'll stay on me and make it happen. He'll stay on me.
I can't wait to hear y'all.
So Jeremy, what was the vision for your group? And I know you don't have much time, but how did you start your group? And how did you pull that together?
So, man, I remember a while back now. I think it was like 2007. Somebody they walked up to me and they said, "Man, if you ever started a group, I'd sing with you." And before then, if you know groups and all that kind of stuff, all I thought about first before I thought about music or ministry was drama. I was like, I don't do drama. I don't do So I entertained the thought, and then so eventually I had to talk with God. I said, "Yo, and me and God, we talk like that. I was like, yo, uh, if I was to ever do, you know, a group or music or anything like that, I don't want it to sound like gospel music, and I don't want it to sound like CCM music. I want it to literally sound like whatever the kingdom of heaven sounds like. You know, whatever the kingdom sounds like. If it's loud, let it be loud. If it's soft, let it be soft. If it's aggressive, if it's all of those things. What if it's Celtic? What if it's rock? What if it's what's the other genre here in Texas? That Selena them did. What was the name of that?
Oh, like something with like Latin, but I don't know what they would call
like
it, but you know, like Latin pop or something, you know.
Yeah, if it has that feel, because the kingdom of God is not just relegated to one sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we make the mistake, is that we think that gospel music only has to sound one specific way. And so I said, because my father, my dad raised me up to listen to everything, not just gospel music. And he was a bishop, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We listened to Eric Clapton. We listened to the Gypsy Kings. We listened to Steve Winwood. My ear is everywhere. I'm a marching band kid. So
yeah.
All things loud, all things brassy. I was also a jazz musician as well. So I know every genre, and I respect every genre. So long story short, I said I want our music to reflect that. So that's why when you listen to, we've released thus far 5 singles. None of them sound the same.
Yeah.
None of them. And shame, because I remember when people used to ask us, "What's your demographic?" I'm like, I don't really know, because listen, I want to do everything. You feel me, Zeke?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to do everything. I respect every genre. So, Not Ashamed, let's go back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Let's kick some rock. You know what I'm saying? Or Alive, if you've ever heard Alive. There's this big carnival feel, like Brazil, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Sounds of Kingdom is a ministry that reflects every genre that has ever been known, and that God has ever wanted to release in the earth. And we're not done, man. I'm excited because there's an extension from this coming, guys, that if I can share it here, y'all get it first.
Absolutely.
God is pushing me to do something else bigger than Sounds of Kingdom now, called the Houston Worship Collective, which is, I want to get more than just our little circle of folks, man. And I want to do something big. I want to do something that involves all of our worship leaders, all of our creatives here in the city. Houston, I feel, needs that. You know what I'm saying? Because I love that we are a quartet city. I love that we're a choir city. But what if we, there we go. Yeah. The Houston Worship Collective. I want to do something bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I hear bigger, man. So this year we're gonna launch this June 14th. That we're gonna have like an open worship shed type situation, man.
Nice.
We're just gonna see what comes from that. So,
wow,
y'all, man, y'all pray for us, because
absolutely
I'm excited about what's gonna come forth out of this project right here. So,
matter of fact, Zeke, let's fly up there for that.
That I'm thinking so. June 14th, right?
June 14th, yeah, man.
Bet. I gotta check the calendar. I feel like June. What's going on in June around about that? If nothing's going on, that actually might be a dope time to come down to Houston and check you out. Check what's going on. Let me check though. You know, I'm married now. I gotta check with my wife on stuff now. I got to. Thank you. And speaking of wives, man, you're always so you're always so loving towards your wife. Like, you always like posting something about your wife. You always showing y'all together. And you're 21 years in now, right?
We're 21 years together. This year we'll celebrate 20 years married.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, we loaded up all kind of stuff. We got you. Listen, man, we got a show for you, man. We're trying to get better over here on Zeke Live in the morning. We're trying to get better on this whole experience. Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's encouraging when I see brothers like you know what I'm saying, who like love their wives and want to like, show their wives off and want to be. So when I finally decided to go ahead and get married, I was like, no, like I need to see good brothers who love it. Now it's not always like, oh man, old ball and chain, she
no, man.
She done locked me down. Yeah.
I will say this, Zeke, it's work, and that's the compromise that both of us have decided. Excuse my angle, y'all. My bad. Oh, jeez.
You back? There you go. You back? You here? Are you well? Are you okay?
But nah, man, we've decided this. It's work, and since it's gonna be work, we're willing to put in the work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, my wife has threatened me very affectionately. She said the only way you're getting out of this is in a body bag. So I was like, "Oh shit, you meant that?" Like,
till death do us part.
Like, you're so sweet. Stop playing. But I think she's really serious, dog. The only way.
Your wife don't play no games, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She's from Detroit, and
Oh, well, there you go. That says everything. Say less.
And since you mentioned that, Jeremy, about that, and you and your wife are working in ministry together. How is that?
Man, it's been a blast. The coolest thing is that I've had the opportunity. We've worked together before. We worked 7 years at a Fortune 500 company together. She worked on her end. I worked on my end. Same building. So if I wanted to go over there and just mess with her, knock her stuff off her desk, I could do that. That was cool. We worked together. That was cool. But the opportunity to do ministry together,
yeah,
second to none.
Nice,
because we know our call. We know what we knew back then what we were called to do, and to now finally catch up 20 years later and be able to do ministry and to impact lives, man. Like literally right before I got on this call, me and my wife, we pray together every morning for all of our partners, all the people who are connected to our ministry. We just got off that call, making sure that the people that we pastor know that they're covered. I love being able to do that, man.
Yeah.
It's second to none, y'all. And I love the fact that we respect each other in our lanes. So not only I need a praise and worship leader, by the way. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, Houston, Texas, if y'all know somebody that can, let's put it this way, sing, they're anointed, and they can keep up with Jeremy Sanders' whole thing over at I-69. You got to be able to keep up with it now. If you got to go and watch what they about over there. Don't come in there with no, they forward thinking over. They forward moving with the music thing. So
Jesus Christ, man. So
yeah.
I lead worship. I take a breather, and then I come back and pastor.
My God.
But and I preach. But the Lord knew that my administrative gift sucked. So he gave me who was strong in administration. Like our church, and I proudly say this, could not and would not be the church that it is without the administration and the forward-thinking leadership of my wife. I freaking love her for that. And I'm not intimidated by it. I love it. She has a way with being able to lead in that area, and she's very strong and apostolic too. Me, I'm very pastoral. I love people. She like to correct folk. So it's the perfect balance.
But back to what we was talking about, Zeke, how your spouse should have what you lack and you have what they don't have. That's what makes you one person.
That's what makes you expand. Yeah.
And shout out real quick to James Finley from Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we got to have him on one day. Yeah,
be like.
Yeah, he's also a pastor now. Yeah.
Young pastor.
Yeah.
All these young pastors. Look, let me ask you this, Jeremy.
Okay.
When it comes to working in ministry together, and because your son is an amazing drummer. Zeke, you heard his son play the drums yet?
Absolutely. Yeah, I tell you, he posts his family. I follow you, bro. You're usually the first thing on my Facebook feed. Like, I see all your posts. That's why I was able to pull such a show together. Dude,
it's funny because we were in the car. I was in the car with Jeremy, and I forgot where we were going. We were going somewhere. I was in Houston. Him and his wife were in the car, and his son. And his son was a fan of Tony Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And his son was
Shout out to Tony.
I was like, "You like Tony?" Like, yeah. And dude, I called Tony and gave him the phone and handed it back to him. And his son mouth was open, dude. I was like, "Say something." Dude's mouth was wide open.
Lost it.
Oh wow!
And he meets the band and stuff. But so Jeremy, working with your wife in ministry, you said it's have you found that? And I asked Richard and his wife Shantae this. Have you found it brought you even closer
to my family?
No, you and your wife. Has it changed your does working in ministry bring your have you seen it? How have you seen it affect your marriage? Like,
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna keep it real to y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100% real. Yes, it's brought us closer, but there's this other component, and I keep fussing at my wife about this, and I'm gonna say it publicly because I love you, babe. My wife was a workaholic, and
Tamika, I didn't tell him to do that, so I
don't. It's a safe space.
It's a safe space, but both of us are, because what this has taught us is how to give to people, but also make time to invest in us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can love a work so much, especially when you're connected and when you're called to it, that sometimes your calling can pull you into this vortex that you sometimes need to pull yourself out of. You feel me? Like for us, we love music. All of us love music, but there's a time when you got to come out of music and you still got to go be responsible. Know what I mean? Like you got to show that you make time for each other. So I've noticed that this has caused us to say, okay, we got to let these people know God for themselves. Number one, you got to know God for yourself. I'm not your savior. I didn't die for you, and I won't die for you. Okay,
that part.
I can point to the one who did and will make every sacrifice necessary for you. But I'm not him, and I still got to learn and grow in him myself. And we got to learn how to take care of each other. We got to, because if you leave, if by chance you leave, if by chance you're no longer in my life, it will be. And we told, like I said, it's till death over here.
Yeah.
So we take care of each other, man. So I think us operating in ministry has taught us how to make sure that we still take time to care for each other as well, man.
Yeah. That's incredible. Let me ask you this question. So you've taken over your father's church. You said this is where your father was. You are a PK. Shout out to all the fellow PKs. We out here. It's a whole thing, and we understand what it is when you got to lead worship, preach a sermon, and then maybe you spend a time as an usher, and maybe you spend time as the musician. Some of us learned to be musicians not because necessarily we even wanted to. Like, I never really wanted to play the keys.
Right.
I wanted to play the drums. My mama started co-pastoring with my dad, and the next thing that was no, you got to learn how to play these keys, and you got to learn how to sing while you play, and you got to learn how to teach.
I ain't even gonna tell you how I became a worship leader. I'm gonna tell y'all, Zeke, I became a worship leader because I got tired of praise and testimony service. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Sing a song, tell a testimony, sing another song. That went on for a long time.
It's like 45 minutes.
I got tired of people lying. I was like, let's just sing some songs and go straight into the word.
Like for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was out in the middle of the country, right? And everything was just very old school. So when praise and worship came around, we were like so forward thinking, right, for doing this kind of stuff. And so, we tried different iterations of stuff, and some kind of way, I guess they just figured out that I could do things. I had a talent, I guess. They just figured it out, and they really worked it and made me have to do that. But it gave me a chance. I will say this, one of the benefits I think we have as PKs is it gives us a chance to experiment with some stuff. Like, we had a chance to experiment. I had a chance to just try out different songs, try out a different style. I even had the keys to the church. I can go down there and just work on sound systems and tweak it to just what I wanted to have it just the right sound. How did that, how do you think that's impacted you and what you've done? I'm going to put a graphic up here as well. It's a post that you made about pastoring your father's church.
So, man, let me tell you, I don't know if you remember, we didn't have musicians back when my dad was a pastor like that. We didn't have musicians. So, I don't know if you remember Day Wind, them Day Wind tracks.
Yeah. I don't remember them. Nah.
Remember?
Learn me something.
Man, them things were so corny and so cheesy. And
they had corny background singers. And
oh my God, it was the worst. And they would
drums was electric.
Yeah, like let me tell you something. All our pigmentation songs sounded the wackest. So what I did, this is how I learned production, right? I used to take a cassette player and I would string maybe about 3 or 4 songs along that cassette. I would play the CD and I would mic up my drums and record my drums over the Day Wind track. And I had to mix it just right because we didn't have no digital board. We had an analog board. So I had to make sure it was just right. And the sound system was way back there and the drums were way on stage. So I had to run to the sound system. Run to the drums after setting the CDs.
Yeah.
Go record the song, go run back, make sure that I put the next CD in while the tape is still rolling. Like it was a whole process. So it taught me production. And it taught me how to boy, if you didn't stand up while we were singing these songs after all the work I just did, man, but no, like it taught me, it gave me a level of discipline to say, okay, Lord, I'll be diligent in this because this is all of our services as unto the Lord, man.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I'm smiling real cheesy because I did the same thing. Not with I recorded drums and stuff. Listen, let me show you a piece of equipment. Let me show you this piece of equipment. When I bought this right here, and I keep this for that reason, I bought this Tascam. This was the first digital thing that I was able to do it on because we used to have like an old Tascam with the cassette tape, and I would record stuff and then go back and record another vocal and go back. That's what taught me production, like because like I was like, well, I got to show these singers how to sing their part, and they're not nailing it the way I want, so let me lay it down, and it taught me production. And I got old stuff in here that if y'all heard it, y'all be like, that's whack, Zeke. But it taught me like.
And we would the same songs every Sunday. I would just switch them up each time.
Yeah.
We had about a bank of about maybe 10 songs. And them 10 songs, we wore them out. Jesus, loves the Jesus. I mean, like, for real. We did it all, man.
Man, that's crazy.
Podcast, I did everything. I still did it.
Uh-oh. Look, Eric talking to somebody. You can mute him.
Eric always working. I love it.
Right. Man, so we were talking about let me mute him. Oh, he muted himself. There we go. Let me ask you this question then, right? So, because that brought up the whole idea of being able to produce and being able to lead worship, which of course now drives the musical thing. We one and the same in that area. I get it. So you made a post once, and I want to put this up because it kind of got into what we were talking about yesterday on the live cast, which was really good. I just want to bring this up real quick. You made this post that said, I went through a rough patch with music. I lost my confidence and enthusiasm for it. Made me not want to exercise that part of my life for a minute. I'm grateful for my friends and family that push me. I'm grateful for my friends and family that push me to get back there and do what I love, especially since it's for the kingdom. And I'll let the audience read the rest of the post. But we were talking about this yesterday, how that burnout can happen, because especially for us, and I guess I'm talking anecdotally here from my own perspective, which is that, as a PK, we spent our teenage years and our 20s and all of that doing that stuff like at church at that kind of a level. Like, I don't think people realize what it is to like figure out how to take a tape and then go like what you were saying you were doing and then run it back and forth and then have to perform it. And you're doing that week in and week out and all that kind like at a high level. Like, and it just keeps getting better and better. And the more you learn, the more you do. And it becomes this whole thing where, then you start your own group and you give that same energy and then don't have a family involved and don't be involved in ministry as well, and you still got to work a job because it ain't like that stuff was paying. So like and then finally one day it's just like, I don't know, I just don't want to do this no more. I'm just tired. Like so and when I saw that post, it just like I was all scrolling for other stuff, I came across that post and I said, This is real thing. So like, what was that experience, if I can say it, can you speak to that a bit,
Man, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, bro. Like we can pour so much into this that we don't take time to rest. We don't take time to, sometimes we're working. I heard my brother, Deron Garrett, y'all got to get him on the show one day. I promise you we do. He said, man, sometimes we can spend so much time working for God that we forget that we're supposed to be working from him. We can do all this stuff in his name. All this stuff. And it's like, Lord, I'm out here promoting you. And he's like, I know you are a dummy, but You don't realize you're tired. You don't realize when's the last time you prayed for me for strategy? All right, when's the last time you discerned the season?
Yeah.
When's the time? Because and I'm get preachy just for 1 second.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I've been saying I just shared this with our partners last night. Our leaders, our servant leaders. I said we need to be in a place where we have discernment like the sons of Issachar. The sons of Issachar discerned the times. They didn't just operate. They prayed and they interceded and they knew strategy for the for the specific season. What if you're not supposed to be doing music right now?
Yeah,
You out there like a dummy doing music. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to be tired. You're going to be overworked. And you're not going to have the motivation. And for years, Zeke, I did that. And this post right here, I was at the place where I said, yo, I'm done. Because I don't have the drive to do this no more, man. You know, like, we ain't selling no records.
Yeah.
We ain't going to nobody tour.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, but this is just, I really called you to rest. You know, and if we have drive but no discernment, you're going to be out of season almost all the time.
Yeah, because you probably drive to the wrong thing. And if you driving to the wrong thing, you still driving. Like at the end of the day, you still burning gas. If you driving, you still burning gas. This is not just, if you're going the wrong way, it don't take away from the fact that you're still using up the energy that you need, you know, and it's so easy to do that because again, and maybe you'll understand this. I know from my perspective, you know, this is a thing, but when you're a PK, that almost gets kind of just put on you, like to have that kind of a drive. Like we ain't got no ushers, you got to usher today. We ain't got nobody to clean the church, you got to clean the church today. You ain't got nobody to lead worship, you need to learn how to play an instrument and lead worship while you're doing it. You got to teach the songs. You got to, you know, dad ain't there today. I need you to preach today. Like I just like
Jeremy and one.
And my mom and my sister and my dad.
And I had
still carried on like everything was everything.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm proud to say this. After this past Sunday, we have officially, and I'll shout if nobody else does, we officially have 51 partners at I61 Church. I don't need no mega church. 51 partners?
Yeah.
I remember when it was just 4. And that was just my family.
Yeah.
Burning on all ends.
Yeah.
When everything, cleaning the church, getting dressed to go to a church where only is 4 of us at. We putting church clothes on for nothing.
For nothing. We could have did this at home at the living room. We could have had breakfast.
For breakfast, bro. Like, for real, man. Like, yo.
Been there.
Yeah, brother. I get it, man. And this is why I also push my kids to live. Both of my kids are highly functioning, highly talented kids and individuals. And yes, they participate in church, but I'll also make sure that they go out and have fun. I will also make sure that they have a life. My daughter's about to graduate, and I'm not holding her here. My son will be graduating next year. And I told him, he said his ultimate goal is to go and play Madison Square Garden. I said, well, son, you ain't going to do that playing gospel music. I'm going to just be 100 with you.
And that's real. That's super real.
You have to play country. You're going to have to play rock. And if you're going into the rap realm, make sure you're spiritually grounded. Matter of fact, make sure you're spiritually grounded, period. But if you're going into these areas, these places, these spaces, you need to make sure you're grounded so that you don't get caught up in the hype while you're out there. Yeah. I'm not keeping my kids captive. They need to go experience the world. I want to be like John the Baptist, the forerunner, the one that says, let your children live. If you're a parent and you're a pastor, yes, your children, you have a responsibility for your children. And this is only me. I ain't speaking for nobody. And I'm just saying it for me. You have a responsibility to make sure your child also experiences life.
Yeah.
Like more than just them 4 walls.
I'm gonna tell you what, that was, so for me, that's one of the things I can appreciate about my parents. It may have been a lot to be a PK, maybe a lot of pressure and stuff that was there, but I will say, without a doubt, my parents allowed me to just be me. Like, I think my dad might have had, we'll talk about this when he comes next weekend. I think he might have had some expectations I was going to take over the church. And I was like, we for sure had expectations I was going to take over the church. And I was like, nah, that's not what I want to do. Like, that's not where I'm at. If that happens down the line in life, then that's the case. But I know that's not what I'm doing.
Your Bible studies, bro. And you know a lot more than a lot of people Uh,
Well, another thing. My dad was getting a doctorate in theology, not a doctorate in divinity or anything like that. It was a doctorate in theology. So he studied like how different world religions were and how they paired to, how Christianity fit in the midst of that. And my dad couldn't type for nothing. Like he couldn't type, he can't type for nothing. Like he's one of the smartest people you meet. Yeah, he one of them, and he can't put a sentence together. He can preach eloquent sermons and do all of this, but if you try to get him to write it, he needs a writer. He's one of them people. Most people need that. So I was homeschooled my last couple years, in high school. And so part of my thing was when my dad was getting his doctorate, I was writing his papers. So like I would have to go back and forth with him, talk this stuff out. So by the time I got to college, I was interested in all this other stuff, and I already knew doctorate level stuff.
Work.
Yeah, I already did the work. So yeah, literally, like my dad was getting A papers because I was just exceptionally well at doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But I had to understand it. Like I couldn't just piece this sentence together for you. I got to understand what you're really trying to say. Well, that means he got to explain what the point is, which means from 15, 16 years old, I'm getting doctorate level understanding of stuff that's deeper than just God's gonna do it. Turn around 3 times and tell your neighbor. That just don't work for me. It just never has, because I was already exposed to doctorate level, academia, and
I love that for you. So I'm telling y'all now, just whenever he launches, I'm flying up there to Cali. I got to be in the room when they ordain you as a pastor.
Oh Lord! Oh God!
It's on you, like, because I heard you deny it once before. Zeke, and the devil is a liar.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's coming, bro. Just give it time.
You know what I consider though? I consider it from this perspective. I consider it from the perspective of I think I get a chance to reach so many people. Like I look at the impressions that happen on like these live casts and stuff like that, and the ability to engage in conversation. I know that for me, the way that I really learn the most is when I watch people who just engage, people who are experts in their field, and it helps me to kind of do that. I get more from that than I get from sitting down listening to somebody talk. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. I mean, that's because I get something from that too. I'm just saying because of the way my brain works, it just does that. So my goal with this, one of the goals with this, was to offer that opportunity for people to be able to engage with scripture and life and expertise from that perspective, as opposed to just a Sunday morning experience of someone preaching. Again, that's good for what it's for, but it's some of us who we're looking for something a little different. And that's why, for some people, they walking out of churches for that reason. And so we have to find new spaces, new ways to get the same message across. It's just new methodologies. And I'm one that'll be quick to say, don't throw away the old thing, because there's still people who need that. Like, we ain't throwing it away. It's yes, and we're expanding. We've been praying all these years, Lord, enlarge our territory, only for him to give us new opportunities to enlarge it so that we can try to do the exact same thing we've been doing. Well, what do you need the enlarged territory for? You just taking up space, So this is my, if I'm pastoring right now, then that's
and I'm just up here receiving. I'm up here.
Receive. Yeah, because, and that's what I love about even with your music and stuff like that, that's what I love about even with that. Let's get Eric back on here. That's what I love even with your music and stuff. What you said about, you got, if it's hitting you from the New Jack Swing perspective, put that out there, because there's no such thing as just in my head, ain't no such thing as a gospel sound. The sound is, like you said, sounds of kingdom. It's the sound of the kingdom. It's the sound of just, this is what God's people are sounding like, and everything don't sound like what I'm used to.
What does it sound like in what does it sound like in just another, it doesn't sound like
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Eric's volume is doing something crazy. I had to mute him real quick. Say that question one more time. I'm sorry. It was cutting through.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
No, I was just saying, man, what does gospel music sound like in Scotland? Or kingdom music sound like in Scotland?
Exactly.
Like in Croatia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does this sound like in North Korea? The ones that's sneaking it over there.
Yeah, that part, like, and people don't even understand that. Like I said, I had a chance. We were talking about this yesterday. I've been to Russia twice, right? And then the pandemic happened and I wasn't able to go anymore. But, like, I've been over there a couple times. And so Russia, it's and I got to be careful throwing Russia's name out there like that, because when that opens back up, I'm going to mess around and knock myself out of being able to go back again. But to be over there, I remember right before I went the second time, there was a preacher at the church that I was at last who was preaching one Sunday. And he said, this is right when Snoop had dropped the gospel album. And he was, on this whole kick of, what does Snoop know about the gospel? Snoop shouldn't be doing that, right? And all this, and the devil is a lie, and this, that, and other. Then I get to Russia, and a pastor that's over there, he's playing Snoop Dogg's gospel album. And he says, I'm so grateful. He said, I'm so grateful to God. We've been praying to be able to get gospel music over here. We've not been able to get gospel and Christian music here because of the government. But because it's Snoop Dogg, we're able to get it in here. So you got one preacher in Russia praying for stuff to be able to come over there. It comes, and right before I got there, there's a preacher saying that's the devil's work. Who was right and who was wrong? You see what I'm saying? So what is the sound? This is God. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. So whatever comes out of they that dwell therein belongs to God. Anyways, who am I to tell him that's not of God?
Hey, Zeke and Jeremy. Actually, Jeremy, I had a question for you.
Okay.
Along the lines of your
last
music,
one.
man.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
This is my only thing. And, since you recently, the loss of your father, how do you feel his influence? And do you think...
So, now you're trying to make me cry. Man, it's funny now, because I literally had a moment thinking about him, a random moment this past Sunday. Just all the feels.
Yeah, sure. So
I'm crazy enough to believe, and if I'm wrong, Zeke gonna tell me, because I told you he's a theologian to the stars. Is it Hebrews? Is it 12, where it talks about the great cloud of witnesses?
Don't get me lying, but
let's
go with it. I think it is. Did you say Hebrews or Ephesians? I think it's Hebrews. Okay.
Where it talks about the great cloud of witnesses, when it talks about the fathers of the faith and all that kind of stuff, I just imagine, just me, okay?
Sure, yeah.
That my dad is in that great cloud of witnesses, and that man is rooting me on, because every time I have a moment, bro, where I'm just like, yo, I don't want to do this no more, whether it's music, whether it's ministry, any of it, I just hear him say, Jimmy, come on, man, you got this. Or when I feel that, it just gives me this overwhelming peace. I'll share this one little story with y'all, man, and I'll leave it alone. When my dad first passed away, he visited me. His presence visited me in a dream. And we met at this middle place. Like, we met at this table. There were 2 seats there at this metal-looking table. I was coming from earth. He was coming from heaven. This is a dream, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
In the dream, he was telling me all of the assignments that they got going. He's like, man, they got this going on. He's like, yeah, ain't nobody sitting down. Everybody's working up here. Like, we all having a good time. Everybody's smiling. Everybody having a good time. And as much as I enjoyed his presence sitting there at that table, you know what? I didn't want him to stay with me. I wanted him to go back, because that's the most I'd ever seen my dad smile.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Yeah.
It's the happiest I've seen him in a long time. And I said, you got to go back and do it. You got to go back and
yeah,
get to work.
Yeah.
And even that was encouragement for me, that while I'm here, I'm gonna work the works that the Father gave me to work while it's day. I'm gonna be resting here, but I'm gonna be in glory, bro. Like, I feel my dad's boost anytime. I know he's proud of me, man. I know he's proud when he sees. And my mother tells me all the time, man. She says, Jeremy, I know your dad is proud of you. When he was here, he probably, I'm finna say something. If he was here, he'd probably raise hell with all the stuff you've done. You done painted the walls black. Now we got a dark church. Because my dad didn't like, he's like, cut these lights on, you know. But I know if he were to see the work that's being done,
the impact you having, bro. Yeah.
He'd be smiling and grinning from ear to ear. And that gives me all the peace I need, man. I need to know that I'm about my father's business and my father's business.
Man, that is absolutely incredible. I know you said that was your last question you had to say, but I got to ask you at least one more.
Okay.
And that question is, where can they stream your music? They want to know. The people want to know.
All digital platforms, all musical digital platforms, man. We're on iTunes. We are on Apple Music. iTunes, sorry, same thing. Spotify, YouTube. Just type in Sounds of Kingdom, not Sounds of the Kingdom. If I had $1 for every time called us Jeremy Sanders and Sounds, it's just Sounds of Kingdom. Just
Yep, there is at the bottom there. Y'all see that file up there? Sounds of Kingdom. Y'all see that? There it is.
And I put it that way on purpose, yo, because I didn't want this to be about me. I didn't want my name to be, the Mr. Magic of it all. It's not Jeremy, man. This is just a movement that God called me to. Just like when I thought about how Planet Shakers was a movement, or even when you think of Mav City, it's a collective of ideas, man.
Mm-hmm.
People help bring this together. I just happen to be the guy out in the front, man. So Sounds of Kingdom is not Jeremy Sanders and movement, dude. So, and even when Houston Worship Collective comes about, and whatever comes of that, it's Houston Worship Collective. It's not gonna be Jeremy Sanders and, I'm a team player. I know there are people who do the name out front and all that kind of stuff. I'm just not one of those.
I'm one of them. But mine is from a different perspective, though. We had to talk about that some other time, though. But because if I had a choice, and Eric could tell you, I'd probably do the same thing you did. It would just be, it would be that, yeah.
Can I take a moment real quick and just do two shout outs? Well, three shout outs.
All the shout outs you want.
I want to shout out to my mom and them. No, just to my wife, definitely.
Yes.
Hear this without her push, without her green light. Sounds of Kingdom came about because she said, "I trust you. Let's do this." I want to shout out my church family, my musical family, all you guys. Thank y'all for constantly believing in me. And then I want to shout out to one of my biggest inspirations in the world, and y'all know who it is, Uncle Fred.
Absolutely.
If you get a chance to see this, I've had the opportunity to sing BGVs for Uncle Fred twice, and it was a blast.
Hey.
I love Uncle Fred. I thank God for his influence. I thank him for being like a for real, a pillar man and an example, just for why I make music. If you hear Not Ashamed, you hear his influence. Yeah,
it's dude, even just the cadence and the way you fashion the vamp with that it's just, bro. Fred all day, you nailed it well. We've been playing that song. I made it our song of the week. So in the pre-show, we played Not Ashamed. Eric sent me the file. I put it on there. I said that's our song of the week. So yeah. So right before 7:30, that song is playing every morning on this stream because we love you. We support what you're doing. I want to say thank you for just always being vulnerable, always being real on the Facebook. I tell you, you're one of the first things I see every time I'm on Facebook. So
if you're on Facebook with me, you already know I'm gonna cut up. I'm gonna say something crazy.
Yeah, you keep the conversation going. You keep stuff funny and fun, and you're just real with it. Listen here, I know you say you're looking for a worship leader. Jamaica Lachey, she is the worship leader with Be Rich. She said if you need somebody on the first Sunday of April, she'll be in Houston. She'll come through.
You already know, sis. What's good?
You remember Jamaica? You remember Jamaica from my single? Yeah, we was on the
Pink hair. She just had a baby.
Yeah. There you go. She's in Houston on the first Sunday. See, that's family.
What you don't know is that SOK is in love with y'all's whole family, bro. We love y'all. I'm talking Jazz, Be Rich, Jamaica. What's my home that did the Disney remake?
Jason Jones, Jason Jones, the incomparable. Yes,
we love y'all, man. Y'all are people, dog. Y'all are people.
Man, listen, y'all are our people. We had a good time with you in Houston. When we came through there and y'all was on the stage, y'all rocked it on that circle stage there. but them things confuse me every time. Like where we at now? Where's it? It be turning and stuff. Like, we're not just over there. Man. But man, listen, we love you. I know you got to get out of here. I want to say thank you for coming on this morning. I'm just grateful. We got to have you back on, definitely. I'm gonna check into June to see if I can get down there. We got to get you up here to Chicago. Yes, we got to get something to get you up here as well. So
why did I think you were in LA? What?
Everybody always thinks I'm from LA. I don't know why. Maybe I just got an LA swag. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. I love y'all.
I love you, bro. You be easy. One more time, y'all give it up for Pastor Jeremy Sanders. Love you, bro, man. You be easy, bro. Y'all, that was Jeremy Sanders. He is the man, y'all. I'm so grateful that he was able to jump on with us today, take some time from his work schedule. If you are down in Houston, Texas, you see it right there. You see it. Y'all saw it. It is the I-69 Church. And also, make sure you check out his music as well. His music is amazing music. It's good stuff, So you want to make sure that you're locking in with Jeremy Sanders and Sounds of Kingdom. I just saw that came online right now. I see my man Rich Holmes. We got to bring him on. Let's get Rich on here. Let's get Rich Holmes. Hold on, we got to bring the right track up for Rich. We got to bring a good steppers cut. Let's see. There you go. A good steppers cut for Rich Holmes. There you go. Let's bring Rich Holmes to the stage. Let's get him up here. There he is. Hey, there you go. Hey, yeah. Zeke live.
Zeke live in the morning. Yes,
like I tell the people, you're locked in with Zeke live in the morning. It's a great way to start your day.
Yeah. Lock it.
What's up, Doc?
How you feeling today? Y'all all right?
Yeah, man. I'm doing all right, man. It was a good interview with Jeremy Sanders. We got to get him back on again. Yeah. We got to get him back on again because he's a good dude. I thoroughly enjoy following him on Facebook and all of that. That's why I wanted him on. I wanted him on.
Oh, that makes sense, man. He's saying some good stuff. I tapped in a little bit on the marriage part, especially working in ministry with his wife, man. That was some good stuff. So that was
yeah. Especially as you're going forth further and further, as you're growing in that area. Man. Yeah, there's somebody with some experience. That's why I say it's good to be able to talk to folks who are in the same vein of what you're in because, you never know what you get out of that. But when he's got to talk about PK stuff and trying to do the music and all that, like we was straight up jerry rigging some stuff all together. Like trying to make something work and having a good time. And it forced us to learn production and to learn, forced us to learn how to do everything inside of a church. I can wake up on a Sunday morning, straight out of bed, run to the church, and then give people the service that they. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's how much it's in us. Like it don't take much effort to put a service together. The effort is the pull, and the people that's on you, the energy. That's the effort. But
expectation of because you're already ready. You can get to where you need to get to.
Exactly. It's what we do. Yeah, it's what we do, and and it's just but that's years and years of experience. That's what that is. That ain't just I'm anointed to do this. No, I'm experienced at doing it. It's a skill. That's what that is.
Just like anything, you serve 20 years in anything, you should know what to do.
You should be a master at it. You should be an absolute master of it.
Yeah. So you going up 20, 30 years in one spot, you should be a master of what you're doing.
Yeah. So what's cracking with you today, Doc?
Man, nothing much, bro. Still just getting things, recovering from the show we had this weekend, which was excellent. You know what I mean? And now we get people asking to see how can they get a part of booking their own mystery melodies. My wife did a great job again. Shout out to my wife on the interview on Friday, man.
Hey, I really hate that I missed that interview. I got to go back and watch it, but I was in there, but some kind of way my audio got knocked off. I was in the car. It was a whole thing. And I was like, and I was trying to figure out did I just mess up the live stream? But when I saw y'all was still interacting, I was like, well, I guess they having a good old time. I can't hear nothing, but I guess they having a good old time. And then
Eric does something. Eric was a pastor at that time. I didn't know he had a pastor gift. They were saying everybody was commenting, Pastor E. It was saying some nuggets, so that's a replay.
No, Eric, when you get Eric for real, and this, when you get Eric for real, Eric, he may be funny and all that, but if you really need somebody to just pour into, that's why he's been around me all these years. when I need somebody to just call up and just be like, yo, what should I do about this? Or what should I do?
Yeah.
Like, we had them kind of conversations. No, bro, you got to think about it like this. Because, and he know how to do it with grace.
Yeah.
You
need that in your corner for sure.
Yeah. If Eric is your fan, he is your biggest fan. He's gonna be your biggest cheerleader and support system. But he also gonna tell you what he think. Like, if like, bro, you need to probably think about doing this, or and he ain't gonna say it in a way like, get yourself together, because he gonna let you figure it out. But he gonna he gonna do that big brother thing. So that's why I've always loved Eric.
Gotta have somebody like that for sure.
For real. Man, dude. So check this out. We were talking, yesterday about all the stuff with the burnout and all that, and it was cool that's kind of where the conversation went a little bit today as well, because I saw that post from Jeremy Sanders where he was talking about being burnt out and wanted to set his music down and all of that for a season and for a minute. I wonder, you ever felt that? I know you're going into something deeper, but have you ever felt that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we all have gone through seasons or times of feeling burnt out. One of the things that had helped me out during those times of feeling burnt out was getting my butt out the way. If I'm burnt out so much, that means I am trying to do too much and not allowing God to flow through me. And so God wants us to be really in the seasons of rest. We just resting assured on his promises and his plans and what he wants you to do. And there's many times that we just feel like we got to take this on because that's just us. You know what I mean? I got to make this better. I got to do this. I got to make it work. And I think there's moments now in the season where God's like, yo, I just want you to rest and trust in me and allow me to do what I need to do. And I was able to get my butt out the way. That was something I did. This happened with COVID. I really went through a season right before the end where I was like, you know what? I'm kind of done. I'm kind of feeling what people are feeling. Let me see if there's other ways. And then someone was shared to me that, everything you really need to learn, you're learning in church, and you can take it outside of everything else you did.
Yeah.
And what I was talking about was y'all learn how to produce music in church, doing all those things. And, it may have felt, it was a short-term discomfort, but you was able to learn, and it helped develop you to now produce major songs and records like what we heard from Jeremy today and what we hear now. So I think all of that helps us. And for me, I would share with people, hey, learn how to get your butt out the way and take vacation, take moments of rest and allow God, because at the end of the day, the church, that's his bride anyway still. You know what I mean? And that man, he's got to take care of his bride. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's where mental health come in. I love when you talk about those pieces, because that's encouraging to keep people to understand you can make it through that mental health. You don't have to just stay there, but you have to do something. You got to put an effort in order to make the first step to get out of it.
Yeah. And that's
for a thing to just hit you. No, I'm out of here now. No.
Yeah. And it feel like sometimes that's the hardest thing, especially when you're dealing in church spaces. And one of the things with this, we got so many goals and so many concepts and so many things we try to hit on this show. But one of those things that I know we hit a vein with is people who grew up in church world. Like, it's just, for a lot of us, that just is what it is. And all of us ain't back at church. We got some of our live loyal listeners who have walked away, stepped away. They say, I ain't really walked away from God. I'm kind of over that phase. I'm kind of over that. And so, one of the hardest things I think for people at times to do is to see how they can use the gifts that God has given them outside of church, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, for those of us who really grew up in church, we were kind of taught that you got these gifts so that you can build the church. And it's like, well, what about building a business? What about building a clinic where people can come? We just want to sit around and come to the altar and pray for miracles for God to heal us, when you need some doctors in there who can tell you who have studied the body, and they can tell you straight up, no, you need to cut back on this, and you need to do this, and maybe you need to take this, and no, that's not going to be a good medicine for you, because that's going to get you hooked, and you need to, we need people that's like that. But instead, we rather just, we were taught, no, if you're going to be a healer, it's because God going to give you the anointing to lay hands on somebody, and then no, some people need to go to a doctor, and that's what we've done in churches. We let people get all out of shape and out of comfort and out of, and then just come down and just pray for it, and the Lord will make it all right. And I think the Lord has called us to a point of, like you said, taking that first step. It's a point of discipline, if you will. Like that's one of the fruits of the Spirit, is it not? Like, so, we talk about the evidence of speaking in tongues. How about the evidence of meekness? How about the evidence of self-control? How about, because those are fruits, and fruits are evidence. And so don't get me there, because I'll get in trouble with the Pentecostals. So don't get me.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, so that's just kind of the I think about that stuff, because this new day and age, this new generation, they.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy platforms like this. I think it's another way to still speak life to people, to still be impactful, to still get messages across, and to open up conversation for those who may not step foot again in another church. My God.
Yeah.
That's just real talk. And
that's
over that.
Real. Yep. And that just is what it is. And so the thing is, does the message die? Or do you just find new ways to put the message in places so that people can get them, and without throwing away the other thing? Because it don't mean you got to throw away the other thing. People still need, if you still got people coming to your church to put their hands together, that means somebody still needs that. Why would you cut that off? It's doing the same thing that we're trying to avoid, but we adding to it. Yes, and Yeah. That's kind of the way I look at it these days. No,
that's good.
That's
real good.
Man.
For sure. Yeah.
Like for real. I done lost Richard. There we go. Oh, wait, hold on.
What's happening?
Oh, there it is. All right, he's back. There we go. I don't know what I did wrong. I was trying to put Eric on the stage. There it goes.
What's happening? I'm sorry. I'm doing my shout outs, man. I know y'all got y'all shout outs, and let me do mine. You know what I'm saying?
Get your shout outs in there. Go ahead and get your shout outs in.
No, I just said what's up to Ron and Jamaica. They say hey. And my wife is on there too. Hey, Shantae.
Yeah, they're going to wifey.
You gotta get points, Zeke. Learn your points.
I'm learning. If you do and say certain things, your evening goes well. Let's just put it that.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna leave it there like that. If you do and say certain things, your evening goes well.
Ain't he all right? You see the smile on my face, huh?
Ain't he all right?
Yeah. E, what you got going on, man? What's happening? Oh, my bad, man.
He in a meeting. What you doing?
Okay, I can hear you.
What you doing over there? What you got going on over there?
I had some appointments today, so that's why I can't see anything. But man, Rich, everything is good, man. The show was great with Jeremy. We've had some great conversation today.
Yeah.
He shared his heart. He shared some things with us today that was valuable.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make him cry at the end, but I know how close he was to his father.
Absolute. Yeah.
And then
just lost him recent. Yeah.
Yeah. He just recently lost him. And like you said, man, I think this thing helps people. I think the things we talk about in some way help somebody every single day.
Yeah.
Absolute.
Whether it helps us or not, because this goes, and it's something you just said, Zeke, about things in church that for somebody, they may not need the testimony part or like you said, the clapping and the shouting.
Yeah.
But somebody may need that.
Yeah.
So like, you don't throw the old away. You just it all.
Yeah, you find new ways to reach those who need to be reached. And I'm all for that. Like,
you have a service with everything for everybody.
Yeah, or you just have multiple services if you need to. Or you find your vibe. You find what works for your congregation. Like your congregation might say, the young people are coming out on Tuesday night and the old people gonna come in on Sunday morning. If that works for you, go for it. Some churches you can get it all in one service and they all down with it. That works for you. Like, I think that boils down to knowing your congregation. There's a lot of pastors that don't know their congregations for real. And that's a whole nother thing. We were talking, so I was at this training. Y'all know the work I do around gun violence, mental health, all that stuff. And we were at this 3-day organizing training because we organized the church in Live Free, Illinois. Shout out. They'll be here next week. And one of the things was, one of the lead organizers was doing a one-on-one with a pastor. She was giving this example. And this pastor, she asked the question in a church service, how many of your members, no, she asked him, how many of your members have been impacted by gun violence? How many have been, impacted by this stuff? He said, no, none of us. We've all been da. Then she started doing one-on-one with the members, and it came out that the overwhelming majority of the population had some run-in some level with gun violence. Now, how do you not know that about your... Because we don't talk about that stuff. You're not asking those kinds of questions. And so, a lot of pastors don't really know their congregation, so they can just throw stuff away very easily, and throw away opportunities and stuff. So, we're just trying to be better, I guess. We're trying to recognize that different people have different needs, and, you just got to try to meet those needs. That's all,
Gotcha.
I think we lost Eric. Did we lose Eric? I think we lost Eric.
Come on back, Eric.
Let's see.
You know
there
what?
You go.
Something you just said, Zeke. I know I came right in talking, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like he came on like he was expecting that turn up. What?
Right.
Something you just said reminding me of something. How people can have things happening right there in their church and don't know it. And I have two examples of that. I remember I was with Kiera, and we were at Valley Kingdom. And she had a big youth conference. We packed out that church, man. And we had some of the girls on Flavor of Love was there, but that's when that show was out.
Oh, yeah.
And they were they were in town and wanted to support her. And so the young lady on the stage, her name was Jamie, was talking. She said, how many of you guys, now Kiera brought her whole choir down from Detroit. And imagine, if you've been to Valley Kingdom, the South Holland location.
Yeah.
So the balcony was packed, the floor, those people standing around, those young people in the hallway. And she said, how many of you guys have been the victim of sexual abuse in your life? She said, but yet, how many of you have been abused in your church? And Kiera and I was in the front row. And she said, Kiera, all of you in the front, don't turn around yet. She said, everybody stand up or raise your hand. Or I forgot what she said. And she said, Eric, Kiera, turn around. We turn around. Dude, over half the building was up. Wow. Kiera bust out crying. She said, I didn't know. She started hugging her members, the young people. I didn't know, you didn't tell me. But, then another situation, man, where I saw that happen, where, like you said, the things happen in the church and we're unaware. And that always that's always stuck me. I can't remember the other one, but that has always stuck with me. The fact that we were leading all these young people and had over, not just majority of her choir got up, but not just them. When you look around the audience, Pastor Wilson was there and all the Valley Kingdom staff, and everybody immediately had tears going because they didn't know their kids were going through these things, man.
Yeah. I think one of the things we do in church, is kind of to, we plan these services, and we're all guilty of it. Those of us who create services and stuff, because there's a deeper conversation here. So there's a lot more behind what I'm about to say. So don't just take what I'm saying on surface. But I think we get into planning these services and stuff with the expectation of what we think people want. And one of the things I'm kind of getting hit with in this season, that the way I'm thinking about it is, if I walked into a restaurant and I sat down and they gave me a hamburger, like I just sat down and they just gave me a burger, my first response would be, bro, why you bring me this? Like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this. I want a salad. Well, we making the burgers today. You gonna eat a burger? Like, but I don't want to eat a burger. I want a salad. Like, I would like to order the salad. Well, you don't know that I want a salad till you ask me what I want for my order. And if I tell you I want a salad, well, now you got a choice. You can either force me to eat a burger or you can make a salad. But I guarantee you, if I want a salad and all you serving is burgers, I'm gonna go find somewhere that's making salads, or at least is attentive to the fact that that's what I need. And so, in church world, we do that though. This is the service we give. This is what we do. And maybe there's room for that, but you gotta be okay that if what you serve is not what somebody wants, you got to be okay with them going to go where they're going to find it.
You got to be open and able to detour and alter. Don't stick to a plan. You got to be able to go. If something happens in the service, man, you got to be able to just go with what's going on. That's where the need is at.
Yeah, I would say yes to that too, being mindful of that, but I wouldn't want you to miss your assignment though.
Right, yeah, that's exactly.
Just to kind of please what people are asking or saying they need. If that's not really your assignment, I would challenge that part though.
But that's why I say that's where it becomes your choice, though. Like you got to at least find out what people, because then that might become the conversation where it's like, to me, where it becomes a conversation with somebody that says, okay, well, look, this is kind of what we're doing over here, but let me refer you to somewhere where there's a good, if I go to a steakhouse and I'm looking for a good, vegan option, I'm not going to find that at a steakhouse. Like, that's not that thing. Like, but, that steakhouse looks good. And me as the vegan, I walked in there thinking I could find something. Do you have any vegan options? No, we don't have that. But let me refer you to this restaurant over here where they serve good vegan options, because at the end of the day, our job is to make sure people get fed. And so if you're going to come to the steakhouse and I don't have something you could eat that's going to work for you, no, I want you fed. I don't want you here. I want you fed. And if I can feed you here, this is what we have on the menu. Now, let me ask you what you want, because we might have something that, maybe you're just looking for a salad. Maybe that's all, you just want a salad. Like, we do have salads. And that's okay. That works for you. So you do fit inside here. We have that. So now I know I need to serve salads sometimes, because we've been serving a lot of steak, because the people that's here all wanted steak. But you know what? We got people that want salad now. So we do have the ability to serve salad. We can do that. Now, if you want vegan option, cheese, and all that, I ain't got that for you. So that's not my call. That ain't my assignment. And I don't see God giving me that. However, I know somewhere where they got good vegan options, because we still want you to get fed.
That could be an issue, because some restaurants, based on what you're saying, they'll go ahead and try to do those sides and try to get better at those assignments and other things. Is that a challenge when it comes to, like, with those steakhouses, we'll say?
Right, we're talking about steakhouses, so we all hungry. You can tell where my head is. I'm hungry. Say the question one more time for me. I'm sorry.
You're saying, like, I want a vegan option. And so now these steakhouses are like, I know we're great at steak, but because I don't want to lose customers, let me go ahead and figure out how to create a vegan option. And so I might hire this chef who says he's great at vegan option.
Absolutely.
Do this and prepare it and do it. And it may not be the best of what I do, but I do have it.
Absolute. I think that depends on capacity. At the end of the day, that's going to depend on your infrastructure and your capacity. So a good example of that would be, since we're talking about restaurants, we'll keep using in that vein. A good example of that would be McDonald's creating a whole salad menu. McDonald's changed their model. They were fast food only up until about I think y'all can correct me on the dates here, but it was either in the 80s or the 90s as American taste started to shift from burgers and things. They started adding stuff like chicken to the menu, right? And then soon enough, when people stopped eating red meat a lot, and then they started adding salads. And some of the best salads you can get is to go to McDonald's. They once upon a time back in maybe the 70s, they added breakfast to the menu. So you can go to McDonald's and get breakfast. Then as we got into the 2000s, the early 2000s, you started to have McCafe. So that they started, because they had good coffee, so they wanted to build on that, so they started serving like pastries and other things like that. You started being able to get that. Now they got the partnership with Krispy Kreme, right? So McDonald's is an example of a restaurant that started as one thing. At their core, they're a burger joint. If you can get anything at McDonald's, you can get a burger. You can get a burger, fries, pop, and a shake. Like that's still their core. They're still a hamburger place. But also, if you want a salad, you can go to McDonald's. If you want just some coffee, you can go to McDonald's. If you want they're going to do all of it really well. Now, here's the thing. They had the capacity to do that because they've got, of course, the finance. They've got the infrastructure. They got all the buildings. There's some restaurants like a mom and pop shop that may not have that capability. So they serve burgers. They do all that. But now they're trying to serve coffee. Well, I can't focus on the coffee and the burger. I got to bring somebody else in. Well, shoot, I can't afford to pay the workers I got. I'm going to add to it just because there's it depends on your capacity. And that's what I say. You have to go with, Mervin said, can't get no shake. The machine's down all the time. That just popped up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to look at what your capacity is and your ability and know your customers. And then again, if you can't do it, at least partner with somebody else. Like I said, McDonald's, they got into doing pastries and coffee, but they never got donut machines in there. So you know what they did? They partnered with one of the best donut companies in the world, Krispy Kreme. They said, instead of us making donuts, we'll just partner with a donut company. So now you can come to, You know what I'm saying? Burger King did it with Cinnabon. They did it with Cinnabon and Hershey's. They did it. You see what I'm saying? So you just know your capacity, know your audience. You know, like I said, that mom and pop shop might have 2 people that's coming in looking for a vegan option. I'm not going to change my entire menu on an already struggling business in order to create options for these 2 people. However, I will, since I love you and you from my community and I want to see you get fed, I will help you to understand where there is a vegan restaurant that I may not even need to go into partnership with this vegan restaurant. I can just refer you out and go because you can still get fed. And I think what a lot of times happens, if we bring it back to the church world, I think a lot of times what happens is we just want to fill up our numbers at church. At the end of the day, we want, because nobody wants to stand in front of a empty set of pews and preach. So we want to run our numbers up. And when that ends up happening, I think that, I think we try to please everyone that's coming in, and you just got to accept you're not going to be able to do that. But where you can, you should probably also accept that if you do have that capacity and you do have a congregation, because for all we know, we might have 50% of your congregation who's saying, hey, how come we ain't got no lights and we ain't got no this, that, and the other, but they may never speak up unless you ask them. But, that old mother who don't like the lights, well, she done galvanized all the other old mothers, and it may only be like 6 or 7 of them who going, we don't like dark church, and we don't want this, that, and the other. We don't want all of that. We don't want it because they loud, then they get their way. But you got 45 people who's like, we love this. You know what I'm saying? But now you catering to the 7 who don't like it because they were vocal. But if you just ask the question and you put the numbers don't lie. So you put the statistics out there and you got 45 people who saying, let's do this.
Yeah.
Well then shoot, let's go with that. We got the capacity. That's not taking nothing away. And now maybe it becomes we need to refer them 7 old mothers to somewhere where they can get what they're looking for, because most of my congregation wants something else. I got to move it that direction. And if you still want us to hold back so it can appease you, this is going to sound rude, but if you 70-something years old, you won't be here 10 years anyways. Oh, Lord. And if I'm thinking 10, 20 years in the future with vision like a pastor should, Lord, I got to make the adjustments as we go. I just had this conversation yesterday with someone, and so with a pastor. So where you think the church is going? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I don't want to. They'll be dead. That's where they going. They'll be dead. So if you cater to them, you might as well just get ready to shut that thing down, and just manage the death like hospice. But if you want to keep it alive, you're going to have to make some changes. Come on. You got to cater to somebody else, and that's just what it is, because there is that aspect as well. But again, this all goes back to knowing your own congregation, and a lot of pastors, to bring it back to that point, don't know their congregation. They don't really, truly know them. And, and sometimes it's not because of fault or anything even. Sometimes just busy, or you got to work 2 jobs,
Well, you got your own plan. You know where you feel like God is leading you. I'm gonna go ahead and do these structures this month. This is what it is, and you don't take the time to really listen and hear your flock. That's dope.
Because you can even shape your plan that God has given you. Just because God gives us something with a thing, once you start bringing other people into it, they start bringing other perspectives. They start.
That's just so great what you was talking about. What we had talked about before. I think with your cousin. Structure. So that's good.
How infrastructure, how one thing is connected to another thing, and if the church is supposed to be that, a lot of times I think as pastors, and I'm even throwing worship leaders in here because we do this too. So, and we hold about anywhere from 25 to 50% of the length of a service is in the hands of the worship leader, so they can get this work too. Like we get this idea of what we want it to be, because of what we see in our head. You see what I'm saying? What we see in our head, and never really take the time to just ask. You know what I make it a point to do every Sunday before church? I make it a point to be there early enough that as people are walking in, they're walking into my space. And you know why? Because I'm there greeting everybody. It's so much part of the culture now that if I don't hug mother such and such and brother this, if I don't give them a hug and ask how they doing, they get mad at me. Like, I know you coming over here to say hi to me, brother Zeke. I know you doing the and because what it does is it gives me an opportunity even before services started to see where people are. That's when I find out, such and such just lost their cousin 2 days ago. They not feeling real well. I talked to 3 people and realized it's just a down kind of a feeling where I'm not going to stand up there. Come on, get up on your feet. Lord, you are good at. Like, I don't realize 30% of the congregation is just hanging on just to be there. I'm going to approach what I do very differently. But if I come in with an idea of what this was supposed to be, maybe we did have, Lord, you are good at. And, you know, me, I'm going to be all in it. Maybe that's what was planned because we rehearsed it on Thursday. Mm-hmm. But I came in on Sunday and saw that wouldn't have worked. You know, so, but again, that only comes from talking to the people, like talking to what's there. Maybe I work them up to Lord, you are good. But I got to start them off with something like, I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I started from. Like, I might have to start there for a minute. That wasn't on the plans. Right. It wasn't on the books. I barely know the words. But for some reason, I just know that song is going to hit today. Wow. Maybe I need to start it with an altar call and just start off with prayer. I don't come in with a song. I just say, just grab your neighbor by the hand. Come on, let's just pray together. Come on, if you need to come down to the altar, and maybe I'll start praise and worship like that. Again, it's all about knowing the people. And I feel like, you know, a lot of times we don't do that. And again, I'm talking not just to pastors. We can't just put that all on pastors. We got to put that on worship leaders too, because y'all control the first part of the service. At the end of the day, y'all the ones that get the atmosphere going. And so we all want to, you know, just be superstars and I'm a worshiper and this, that, and the other. No, in that moment, you really are pastoring people. And if you're not talking to people, you're not doing your job. You just a singer with a microphone and an opportunity. And I get opportunities. I can go do shows and all that stuff like that. And that's what that is. But when I'm at church, I'm pastoring people in that moment. And if I don't know people, then I'm not a good pastor. And I need to pass this mic to somebody else and learn. You know, we got people who are good singers, and because they're a good singer, we call them anointed. No, the anointing breaks yokes. And if you can't do that without a microphone in your hand and you ain't a yoke breaker, you just a singer who knows how to move a crowd. And I'll stand on that 10 toes down for real. You know?
Wow. That is big, Zeke. Y'all should like that. Zeke on fire on there. Zeke with fire emojis. Zeke with fire emojis. It's going crazy. He goes viral right now. That was dope, Zeke.
But it's real, you know, and then, you know, we get this back and forth with pastors and musicians and all this about who, you know, the musicians ain't following the pastor and the pastor is trying to do this. They shutting it down. And meanwhile, ain't nobody asking what the people need. Ain't a church and ecclesia, like a gathering of people. Isn't that what the church is? The church ain't the pastor and some folks that's watching. And that's what we've done through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We've created spaces where it's a pastor who has a following as opposed to a group of people who just have a leader. And that's a very different thing. A dude with a following versus a group of people who have a leader are, if you think about it from that perspective, I believe that's two completely different things. I just made that up right now, but I stand 10 toes down on it.
I love it. Do with it. Work on that a little bit more. That's good, man. God, yeah. No.
I didn't even mean to go off like that.
You teaching today, sir. Come on.
I didn't even mean to go off like that, but you know, maybe that will be good for somebody who's a you know, who is a worship leader even, you know, because again, y'all, we the worship leaders control most of the service, the music ministry, they control a large part of the service because that's just a lot of what goes on. And if you don't know what's touching people, then you're going to find yourself going down this crazy rabbit hole of yelling at folks. Get up on your feet. How dare you sit on God when God ain't been good to us? Well, for all you know, one of the families of the church just lost their uncle. It may not have gone to this church, but he, you know, down in Mississippi somewhere, we trying to figure out how we going to get down there. And all we need is somebody to just pray for us. And better than praying for me, you yelled at me and told me I need to stand up. How dare I don't give God praise? Because it could have been me sleeping in my grave. Nigga, I just lost my uncle. He is sleeping in his grave. You just triggered something inside of me now. And then we'll say it's the devil. It's like spirit of heaviness in here. A spirit of heaviness ain't always the devil. A spirit of heaviness is just literally that. It's just an atmosphere where it's just heavy. And there could be a reason why that's the case. And if you don't ask your people, if you're not there, like I'm sick of these celebrity praise and worship leaders, man. I'm sick of them. They come in, and the pandemic did this for real, where we started just paying folks just to come in and just sing some songs, and they run to the next church, and nobody knows the people. And now the people are walking out, leaving, and we talking about it's the devil. No, it's us. Sometimes we the devil we casting out. But we won't get out of our own way, so we'll cast the devil out all day, and he'll never leave because we the devil we casting out. So then we'll blame everybody else and say, I'm not with that no more. I'm with what are the people looking for? And that's where you find different methodologies and you find ways to partner with, I'm not good at doing this, or I don't understand this, but I know somebody who is. And my goal is to feed the people. I'm like Tiffany Henry. My goal is to feed the people. I got to feed that. All I want is to feed the people. That's all I want. If I can't feed you, I know somebody who can. Let me tell you where to go. Like, and if we can partner up and do some stuff and all come together, we can do that as well. But I'm not finna just sit here and just give you a burger when you're looking for a salad and just tell you you're gonna eat this burger because it's what I know how to make. Well, then when I leave, because I'm looking for, then now you can't call me the devil and backsliding.
Because
I was looking
what I needed.
Yeah. Let me shut up because I keep going and going.
Wow. That is a lot. That is a lot. If I want a burger, I want a burger. And so the restaurant should be okay with letting you go get what you need.
Yeah.
And just trust that, the upper management. No. Trust that God will sustain and hold you all the way through, even if people do leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard what you said, because people, they was looking at, you don't want to just preach to empty pews. You want people there. So we've been pleasing versus God pleasing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, that boils down to, if you know what your assignment is, then you'll, or what you're good at doing, then go ahead and do it. I'm never advocating for not doing what God gave you. If some people were hooping, that's the way they get it across. And there's some people who need to hear a good hooper. And that's fine, well, and good. But what I'm saying is you can't get mad if you a hooper, and I'm the kind that don't like and want to hear all of that hooting and hollering. Like, I want to hear all that. Like, I want somebody to sit down in the chair and teach me. Like, so what I can't do if I'm the pastor who's hooping, I'm and God said, and then I got a congregation of people who like walking out because they looking for something else. Well, I can't sit over here and get mad, and the devil is just taking our people away. No, I just don't offer what those people wanted. So I got to be content with the people who want what I'm giving, or try to grow from there, or I got to add on what the people that I got are looking for. Gotcha. It's my choice at that point. And I have to be able to be, and that's where, like you said, upper management, that's where you have to know your capacity, know your market, know your target, know all of that. Now you have to make a decision. And if I can't do this, I can't get mad if they leave because they're looking for something else. But if I have the capacity to offer what they're looking for and I don't offer it, and that's the choice I made, then now not only should I not get mad at them for leaving, I should be knocking myself out for not doing something that God has also put inside of me because I chose to lean only in the one side of what God gave me.
Wow. So in that leadership role, man, how do you balance? What's the best way to kind of balance that to make sure? Because you said with the capacity, if you don't have the capacity, because this is where I think burnout can happen. Because we talked about burnout. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the capacity, but you don't want people to leave, and you're the leader of that place, you're gonna do whatever it takes to try to make it happen. It's still more, and that's why I go back to balancing people pleasing versus your assignment. Mm-hmm. Right? How does one, and I don't know if E on here, he can kind of chime in, kind of just help in that area to balance the two, man? Is that really God given a calling, or is that really practical things you can do to help you out with that?
I would answer that question with a question. I would say, what constitutes what is the assignment, right? If the assignment is to Peter, do you love me? Feed my sheep. If that's the assignment, then you're going to find out what the sheep need to eat and you're going to feed them. If the assignment is Noah, build the ark and do it exactly like this, then your assignment is to do exactly that. And so it doesn't matter if the people looking for, well, we want to be on a rowboat. No, Noah, build an ark and do it exactly like this. Well, we want to be on a raft. They got this new blow up technology where you can, Noah, build an ark and do it. So the question to the pastor or to the upper management would be, what is your assignment? Is your assignment simply feed the people? Well, if God has put things inside of you to be able to do just that, then do that. But if your assignment is to do it a specific way, then do it a specific way and don't try to. That goes back to what is the vision calling for, And I think that a part of that, though, at the end of the day, is going to boil down to who are your people. So, capacity, when I talk about capacity, I'm talking about who is your leadership team? Who is your do you have people that's in the pews who can do some stuff? You want to open up a mental health thing, but none of your ministerial staff is able to do that because none of them are counselors and none of them know anything about that stuff. And you know good and well, if you try to get Sister Johnson to run that thing, she gonna say something out of pocket at some point. So you can't put it on her hands. But if you talk to your people, because God done gave you that capacity and you just simply put it out there, I didn't even know Shanae was in school to become a licensed clinical counselor. I didn't even, and she's looking for a way to serve. Well, if I never asked the people, then I never even find out what I have in there. So, our church is doing assessments of their congregation. Like there's people sitting in pews right now who want to serve with the things God has given them, but because of what we've presented, they don't think they have a place. There's people who have asked to be able to put ministries together, and their pastors told them straight up, no, that ain't what we do over here.
Wow.
So
I can see that though. But but I get it. You got to have something from they asking they want to do something. Yeah, I got it.
So
that's always challenging.
It becomes that thing of you either got to give people what they're looking for, right, or accept the fact that they're going to go find it, because people will find what they're looking for. I think what ends up happening, it can create burnout in pastors, but if you accept that, it'll cut down on the burnout for one. If you get a team together, and you can only do that by assessing what you have, it'll cut down on the burnout of the pastor, but also it'll help us to accept that people are going to find what they want, because at the end of the day, we always, again, concerned about what the pastor is looking for sometimes. And I think we should, because we sometimes put too much on the pastor. We have an unhealthy relationship with pastoral communication and stuff. We put them at a pedestal that they shouldn't be on sometimes, and that makes them have to live up to things that they can't live up to, and then it becomes the whole thing. But if you survey your people, you may find out that you have things that's sitting right in your pews that reach the goals you looking for, and it may be better than the ones who are quote unquote, I'm gonna say quote unquote, called to preach. Because I all right, I'm gonna say one more thing and then I'm gonna do something else. Like, because then we got a lot of preachers who believe they're called to preach, or will say they're called to preach. I don't know if they believe it, if they just say it because they think it gives them some platform during a Sunday service. But then when you can, as a pastor now, throw all these different programs and things together, and you do stuff and it brings community out, you got all of that, and where are all these preachers at that point? Like, you got a whole audience of people you can preach to, but you just waiting for your chance on a Sunday morning just to deliver the good old word. And you a preacher who's called to preach, and you only do it twice a year. You a piss poor preacher.
Oh boy!
You called to do something, and you only do it twice a year. You piss poor. You need to go ahead and put that calling down, because that's not what you were called to do. Because you don't wake up thinking about it, doing it. You ain't, because a preacher gonna find somebody to preach to.
That's right.
An evangelist is going to evangelize. We done got into this thing. We call women evangelists and missionary because we don't want to call them reverends. We don't want to call them what they are. So we call them evangelists, but I ain't seen them on a street corner. I ain't seen them bring nobody in. I ain't seen evangelists evangelize. Wow. People walk around here with titles and ain't doing that. We got worship leaders wearing the title worship leader, and you ain't really a worship. You just a good singer. You just a good singer. The people got with you because you know how to work the stage. But, at the end of the day, you go into the next thing. And then to the next thing, and then to the next thing. You're not really, and sometimes that's necessary. I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. I'm simply saying, if you're going to have real grounds on building up a church, if you're there to really build, you can't do that without building people, because people are the church. How you build a church without building the church? Like, that don't make sense. You just building your ego at that point. So
good stuff, man. Well, that's your church service for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. You know what I mean? You make a church on Sunday. Here it is. You dropped in today.
Yeah. But this is what causes a lot of that church hurt, though, right? You got people who have these different gifts that they can offer, these different gifts that they can put in, and then when they find no ability to use it, And they're getting that pressure because a lot of times what we do is coerce people to stay around with us. And I know ministries that will do this. If you go and leave and you go somewhere else, your crops are gonna wither up, and you start getting real biblical on them, and you won't find success, and you won't find this. Your success is connected to this. That's mental and spiritual abuse. And if you're doing that, I'll be the first one to stand for you and say, no, anywhere where somebody is telling you you're going to dry up and die when you leave from them, believes they're God, and you need to run from them just on that notion alone, because I die when God takes me out of here. I dry up when God dries it up.
Come on.
I can grow. I may do well here, but if you ain't giving me nothing to grow with, you know what I'm saying? Like, then... shoot, like you killing me actively. You're actively killing me. Like, so you either got to let me go somewhere and bless me on my leaving and my departure, pray for me, or you got to accept that I'm gonna walk away from this church and I'm never going back because you showed me a side of this God thing that I can't support. So,
woo!
And there's a lot of people out of church right now for that very reason. And meanwhile, we'll stand over our pulpits and say they backslidden, the devil pulled them away, this is a lost generation. We use all this language.
Wow.
So the most spiritual generation that we've ever had. Spiritual but not religious. The most spiritual generation we've ever had in modern history.
Yeah.
And yet they're not finding God in our churches, and we're saying that they the devil. Like, so they going to keep walking out, and the statistics going to keep doing what the data and statistics are doing. It's just that. Wow. Man, y'all got me up here preaching. I ain't supposed to be preaching. I'm supposed to be talking to y'all. Like,
just having a conversation, man. It was in you. You know what I'm saying? Pause. This just happened. I'm gonna transition a little bit because I'm a churchy dude. We all went to church carrying on, and I work in business. And I tell people, I'm really trying to take the churchy out when I'm in these business meetings, man. But it comes out all the time. You know what I mean? Is how you doing? Well, God is good. Well, yeah, I guess he is, ain't he? All right. And it's just always something that's going on. But I think there's a time and place for it all the time. And man, that was some good stuff, Zeke.
Yeah.
Like, still need it. You got to give people what they need. Point them to, and still point them to Jesus, point them to Christ.
Yeah.
Jeremy even said that today. I think he talked about how he's not your guy. I didn't die for you. Okay. I point you to the Savior and Jesus. That's all I can really do. But there's so much expectation that's put on pastors and other leaders, praise and worship leaders as well. Pastor kids, everybody, they get those pressures of those titles. And it's like, what are you going to do to manage those so you don't burn out?
I feel like until we start breaking those things down, like those pedestals, it's going to be on us who are in those roles to break those pedestals down. So like one thing for me, when I get, and y'all know this, when somebody introduces me, I be quick to be like, don't give me that long drawn out church introduction. He's a man after God's own heart. He's a true worshiper who does all you doing is putting me up on a pedestal, and I'm a human. I'm bound to have some fall. I'm bound to do something and when it happens, you done put me up on such a pedestal that then when that happens, now the kingdom takes a hit. No, this is Zeke. He's a singer. He's been on this stage, he's done that. Like, just talk about what I'm there to do. Don't give me all this extra stuff because you build up people's expectations that I'm little God on the earth. Like, no, I'm Zeke, nigga. Like, I need it just like you do. I just happen to be good at music, just like you just happen to be good at, I don't know, being a nurse. Right. Like, when you come in, like, who's gonna be your nurse for the day? When I go to the hospital, I don't want to hear she's a woman after God's own heart who has come in here and she is the gift of healing and she has seen it. Nigga, who's my nurse? Just say her name. Like, just say her name. Just who is she? What is she? Is she a nurse? Is she a registered nurse? Or is she just my CNA? Like, what is it? But I don't need all the extra. Like, don't put on a pedestal. Because now if something goes wrong, I'm going to say, where was God and all of that? And if I'm just coming, I'm going to walk away from that hospital going, God ain't in her. Like, wow. I don't know, but I don't know about this God thing. If God didn't heal me, then was it? No. God, I'm the nurse. Like,
that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
the nurse. Okay.
Yeah. It's up to us to break those pedestals down, and we don't break them down. We feed into them. We feed into them in so many different ways. It's such a multi-dimensional way that we feed into them. You know, like if I, you know, we just feed into them.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
You know, so it's just, you know, we have to break them down. As long as we keep the pedestals up, people gonna keep having a reason to dig into them, and they're gonna keep building them up even more. We're gonna have to live out to that. So at the end of the day, even if it's your quote unquote assignment, on some level, you still people pleasing. As long as you're trying to live up to a standard that people expect, you're still people pleasing. Like, so, you know.
That's a balance there. You got to work on that balance for sure.
Yeah, you know. That's you know. I done talked for 30 minutes.
Yeah. And I think the good thing, though, you said something, is getting to know your congregation. Even when they came back to relationship, when we talked about that, I think even Jeremy, and I know I said it, you got to get to know your spouse. It's great to get to know them, have known them, I think 20 plus years. You got to get to know your congregation. That's a big point. I hope people heard that today.
Yeah. But see, folks, they don't. And I'll say this because I know we're running real short on time now. Sure. But a lot of you
gotta play the mood music. That's what happens.
That's what it is. Like you gotta time yourself with some music. Yeah. There you go. A lot of folks, you know, what they do is the pastors, for instance, for most of us, we grew up in it, right? So we know what worked when we saw it as we were coming up. But we live in a day and age where culture is shifting super fast. Yeah. Culture is shifting like super fast. And so if we trying to do stuff the way it was done in the 90s, you lost already. If you trying to do stuff the way it was done even in the 2000s was 20 some years ago. Yeah. 2000 was 25 years ago. Like the 2000s was 20 years ago. For us that grew up in the 90s, you remember what it used to feel like when people talked about the 70s? Like, felt like forever ago. It felt like forever. It was 20 years ago, but that felt like forever ago. So you got a generation that's growing up in the 20s, right now in the 20s. We're in the mid-20s, and you still trying to give them what worked in the 2000s.
Because it was hot for us.
Because it was hot for us, and it's how we came to know them. But what was hot for us, our parents didn't understand. And what was hot for them, their parents didn't understand. Every generation gets this thing where they want to hold on, and religion teaches us to do that. But when you just get in your mind that you got to feed the people, you just find new recipes. People's taste buds changed. They stopped wanting red meat, so McDonald's figured out how to sell salad. I mean, you just got to know how to shift or how to hang on to what you're doing and be comfortable with allowing it with attrition to just fade out as it does, so that you can be the one that's still giving that thing. You know, people still like antiques. It's okay. You can be an antique place. Just accept that you're an antique mall. Like if I own an antique mall, I'm not expecting to sell the kind of units that Macy's is moving. Right. Like I'm just not expecting it. You know.
Yeah.
So,
but where I'm at, I know this is where I want to be at.
Yeah, but when the fad about antiques moves away, when that goes away, I gotta be ready to shut this business down. Gotta be ready to shut this thing down. You know, man, we done reached 10 o'clock. I thought we was gonna watch some hot takes and stuff. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, man. I don't. Is Eric still here? I know he was at the doctor's and all that. We just left him up.
His face is here.
His face is here. We left Eric here in spirit. So there y'all go. There's E right out. James Brown didn't make any appearances today, so you know, shout out to James Brown wherever you are. You didn't make an appearance on the Zeke Live today, but that's all right. Rich, man, you know how we do it, man. Yeah. You know how we do it.
What's up, good people? I hope you guys had a good day today, a good morning so far. This was.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me edge back. There you go. Hold on, wait.
I was in it. I was on the road. Yeah, that's me. Okay. Hey, it's Rich again. Hope you guys had a good day today. Hope something was said to encourage you to keep going, to get out of the funk that you might in or whatever state that you in. Know that you can get up from it. Hey, life is choice driven. You will live and die by the choices you choose to make. I got a hint for you. Choose life. I'll holler at you. God, thank you for this time of coming together. Pray for everybody that was on this live today. Speak a special blessing to them. Lord, thank you, Lord God, that this day will be a great day We thank you, Lord God, for no bad energy, Lord. We thank you that only your kingdom will be seen. We pray for Jeremy Sanders, our special guest today, and the great work that he's doing in Houston. And I thank you for just another great day to give you praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Man, what a wonderful show today. I want to thank our special guest, Jeremy Sanders. Thank you, Eric Rideout. He was moving around. He had appointments and stuff, but he is true to staying on with us in the morning time. So thank you. Thank you to B Rich, Pastor Rich, AP Rich, Rich Holmes, all the names, Pastor Rich, just all the names. Like, we thank you for coming on. We had an amazing conversation today. I really enjoyed this. I'm telling y'all, for real, I enjoy Zeke live. So y'all do me a favor. I want y'all to enjoy it as well. If you're not with us, please subscribe to our YouTube. You see, oh, I'm the wrong side. There you go. You see it right there. YouTube. I'm trying to line my finger up. YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. That's the best way to watch us. You can also catch us on Facebook. To my Instagram people who've been in and out today, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining in with us. Make sure you subscribe to Zeke Locke. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram, Zeke Locke New X. And also make sure you share it. We want to, pass this along. This is Zeke Live in the Morning. You locked in with us and we love it. It's a great way to start your day. Whatever you do today, do it with grace. All right, I love y'all. Yeah.